A niche market, it's a targeted group of people interested or seeking information on a similar product or solution. So, for example, a broad niche market would be weight loss. There is a lot of people that are looking for solutions to lose more weight, to actually, better their life, to eat better, to diet, to exercise correctly. So, weight loss is a broad niche. It's a whole group of people that are passionate or interested or seeking information on losing weight. A more defined niche market would be an example of weight loss for senior citizens. So that would be a little more defined market. Survival, that's more of a broad niche. And another one would be how to survive a government shutdown. That's more of a narrow niche market. So survival, broad niche, weight loss, broad niche market. Weight loss for senior citizens, weight loss for young mothers, weight loss for singles, weight loss for whatever age group you want to target, weight loss for males, weight loss for females. And then within weight loss, you've got everything from fitness, because people could lose weight by exercising, by changing their diet, or ultimately a combination of the two. So it just depends on what market you want to go to from there. So you can really narrow down your niche markets. The more narrow you can get, actually, sometimes the better off you are. Even though there's less people, it's a lot easier to target those people. Golf, for example, that's a very broad niche. Golf could mean everything from people wanting to go golfing on as casual golfers to people that are very serious golfers to pro level golfers. Now, if you're in the golf niche and you go into the niche, or you create a product, or you create a course or an article or content around the topic of curing golf slice, that is actually a very narrow niche market. That's a narrow niche market within golf, because it's something that people have a problem with. So that niche now got smaller, and instead of just anybody that has expressed interest in golf, it could just be going out on a golf course or looking to buy golf carts. You've now narrowed that down to people that specifically want to cure golf slice. So they have a problem with slicing the ball when they hit it. They want to cure their golf slice. So that would be a group of people. Relationships, that's a broad niche market. Improving your marriage, that's a much more narrow niche market. And it's not about dating, but it's about improving your marriage. Ways to make money with niche marketing. There's several different ways, and we're just going to do a quick overview of each one of those. Affiliate marketing, that's one of the key ways where you're actually promoting product for a commission. CPA marketing, which is cost per action. So that's where you get basically for people taking a certain action. It could be signing up for a trial, it could be generating leads for people. Maybe it's insurance leads and you're in that niche market. You could get paid a percentage or a certain dollar amount, maybe $5 for every lead, or a dollar for every lead, 50 cents for every email lead that they generate. Whatever the case is, that's what more cost per action is. Affiliate marketing, you could argue, is actually just cost per action, because you get paid every time somebody makes a sale. You get paid a set commission amount, whether it's 50%, 15%, 8%, whatever product lines you're promoting. If you're an affiliate for digital information products, you're going to make a much higher percentage commission. Building an email list within your niche market of people that are interested in purchasing products related to your niche. That's a huge way to make money in niche marketing. Creating your own information product. That's one of the fastest ways that you can really stand out in a niche market, especially if there's a crowded niche market with lots of other people. Creating an information product that solves a problem people have within that niche is really important. This could be digital or physical type product. So physical product might be, everything from a DVD series that they pop into their DVD and info product in that way. It could also be a product that actually helps their daily life. It could be supplements that maybe you have private labeled, or maybe you're in the pet niche and you decide to private label a certain brand of dog beds or dog grooming supplies or things like that you actually create and make your own products. So those are other ways you could target a niche market with physical products. Selling your niche website. That's a really cool strategy that not a lot of people understand, is that as you're building a business and as you're building like a niche focused business, you're actually building an asset as well. So all the traffic you get, all the sales that you get, the email subscribers, All that kind of stuff can act is really an asset that you can bundle together as a nice package and actually have an exit strategy so you aren't stuck with this niche market the rest of your life. Or if you decide to go in a different direction, you have a way that you could sell this. A big mistake people make is they maybe get worn out or tired of a certain niche, or maybe they just decide, hey, this is just not profitable. I'm not enjoying it. And they just leave the website. They just let it go and they shut off the website and they just quit. Well, a much better strategy would be to have an exit strategy where you actually sell that business and make money for your efforts or get something back at least. Even if it's not all your efforts, you get something back in return. So, steps to niche marketing success, this is to choose the right niche market, understand how to make money within that niche, build up your following, whether, email list, social media, creating a product for your target market. That's a really a surefire way to stand out from the crowd. Building a blog within that niche, and then using some common free traffic methods to obtain more traffic, and then using paid traffic as well to kind of build your audience, build your rapport, make sales, get the results you want. And then again, selling your niche business as an exit strategy. Some people actually, their entire business model is just building up online businesses, making money on them while they can, and then turning around and selling them and then repeating it in another niche market. So it's kind of a fun process that way where you could actually scale this up into multiple niche markets. So you could be in everything from the model train niche to the fitness niche market to the ailment niche market where you're actually helping people with natural cures for certain problems or ailments. And so there's multiple steps that you could go there. And that's the beauty of, niche marketing and going into several hot niche markets, maybe the hot ones that you've seen trending out there. And there's many different ways to make money within those niches. So it's all about multiple income streams for yourself as well. So once you get good at this, once you master this, you could actually go into multiple niche markets. So in the next video, we're going to talk all about choosing your niche market so you can actually hit the ground running and know that the niche you're going after is a potentially profitable one. One thing you want to start off with is look at your own interest or your career, especially if you're starting out into niche marketing. And you want to start with one niche, build that niche up, make money in it, and then move on to another one. And just so you know, for reference too, I'm going to call this a niche here. Some people call this niche marketing. So you may have heard it multiple different ways. And so some people call it niche. I call it niche in these videos. So if you have heard niche out there, it's the same thing. But just depending on, you just want to look at your own interest or your career that's out there when you go into the niche marketing realm of things. So look at your interests, start from there, and then you could really scale it into a full-time business. Any niche business that you build up could be scaled in by itself into a full-time income on its own. So you don't have to venture into multiple niche markets. That's not what we're trying to teach you here, but it is an option for those that want to or that like to have multiple streams of income in other niche markets. The beauty of it is, though, is you could have multiple streams of income for each niche market that you're in, or even if you're in just one and you make that your niche market, your focus, then that's phenomenal. And so the first thing to do when choosing your niche is to look at your own interest or your career. Another tool to use is Amazon.com. Magazines, they will actually tell you if a niche is hot or not. ClickBank.com products, so products that are currently selling, info products that are out there on the largest info product site out there, ClickBank. The Flippa Marketplace, that will give you some great indication as to what kind of niche markets are hot. If it's a viable niche market that you've chosen, you can see like what websites are actually selling out there, that type of information. Common ailments like health issues, everything from back pain to tonsil stones to acne. Those are common ailments that people suffer from, and you could create content or training that actually helps them. Now, keep in mind as we go through the niche process, you do not have to be an expert on these to venture into a niche. If you're just after, profitability, that's great. We start with looking at your own interest or your career path because sometimes that makes it easier for you to narrow it down. It makes it easier for you to go in the direction where your passion is. But again, some people find that their passion is generating an income that's comfortable and they love working from home. They love working for themselves. And so they don't care what niche market they're in as long as it, fits up with their standards ethically, where they can look themselves in the mirror, where they could tell their own mother what they do or their wife or kids and feel comfortable with it. Then, that's great, and that's something also to keep in mind. So some people will tell you, hey, you've got to be passionate about it. But then there's other marketers, entrepreneurs that I know of that personally are just passionate about running a business from home and making extra income. They don't care what niche it's in as long as it's making money, and they find that once the money comes in, they become passionate about it. So that's one thing I want to point out here, just to be honest with you as you're going through this. You may not find acne something that you've suffered with, but you may find that it's a very profitable niche and you would love to outsource, find somebody that can create a good product about that, create good content for people, build up an email list, and then recommend solutions to those people. Niche marketing is all about, again, marketing to those people with a common problem or a common interest and offering them a solution or offering them something that they want within that niche market. Yellow Pages, you can actually look at Yellow Pages to get ideas of niches. EasyInArticles.com has a really good list of niche ideas for you to pursue as well. So first part of niche selection is to look at yourself. What things are you personally interested in? And again, I like to start here because it's just an easy way for people to start off with. What kind of things are you interested in? Is your hobbies include things like scrapbooking, golf, boating, cooking, camping, those kinds of things? What things are you good at? Do you love tinkering with cars? Are those types of things you're interested in? Family member, hobbies. What kind of family members do you know of that have really big hobbies that are really passionate about something? Maybe you could joint venture with a family member if they have a passion for, backpacking or something of that nature. And you could work together in creating the ultimate backpacking guide or the ultimate backpacking solution. Maybe you are somebody that loves to play instruments and you would love to teach people how to sight read and play a saxophone or play a trumpet or play piano by sight reading. Natural cures to certain ailments. Have you actually had an ailment yourself, like back pain, and you found a natural solution to it without having to, spend lots of money at a chiropractor or spend lots of money, getting x-rays done and having to take prescription pain medicine? Did you find a way to cope with your pain naturally using natural herbs or something like that that's out there? Those are huge stories that you could actually tell. So if you have a story like that, or a family member or a close friend, are you somebody that actually homeschools your children? There's a lot of homeschooling products. You could actually be an expert on homeschooling and not even realize it. Most people are experts at something and they don't even realize it. Look at your political views. What kind of things are you passionate about? Do you know a lot about politics? Well, maybe you could create a niche site. Are you somebody that's always got an opinion about politics? You could create a blog where you express your opinions, where you actually share other article pieces or content out there that's related to, politics that you're passionate about. Maybe it's certain types of diets that you have done yourself that you're interested in. Maybe you are on a diet right now that's actually helped you lose 15 pounds and it's something that you tell all your friends about. Well, maybe you could actually harness that information, write down exactly what you did, what kind of food you ate, the recipes you used, and that could be the niche market. That could be your niche product. That could be what you blog about or write about. Look at your career. Are you a golf pro? Well, if you're a golf pro, you could do so much more than just being, a golf pro working with people one-on-one. You could actually sell your training to the masses. As long as it's okay with your boss and you get the okay there, which most of the time, from my understanding, golf pros are more, general, contractors. So you probably have the reins to do what you like, but you could do that. Are you a tennis instructor? Instead of just teaching people individually, what if you taught somebody how to play tennis maybe for free, and in exchange they allowed you to film that session while you taught them? That could become a product or a niche that you could go after. Maybe you could give tennis tips on a blog. Maybe you're a music teacher. You're a music teacher by trade, or a music teacher. You could teach people how to play instruments. If you're an accountant, you could actually teach people how to keep their books better, how to do a better job with their books, how to work with QuickBooks. That is valuable information that people want to know. Are you a career counselor? Maybe you could do a product on resume writing, on how to, do interviews correctly, how to improve your life in that regards. Are you a marriage counselor? You could do an entire book or a product on marriage and being better at marriage in your life. You could do a podcast series. You could do a book. You could do an ebook, a digital product. You could do a website talking all about marriage advice. Are you a personal trainer? Are you somebody that can teach people how to lose weight, how to gain muscle? Those types of things. What kind of training, lessons do you do? You could teach the masses. You could do a blog about it. Are you a lawyer? Do you have insights or information on certain subject matters as they pertain to businesses or current events? Start a blog. That could be your niche market. Medical professional, are you a doctor or a nurse? That's fantastic if you are, because that gives you a great opportunity there. And you don't have to be a medical professional or a doctor. I'm just using that as an example where you could actually share your information to the masses. Look at people like, Dr. Oz. He's all over the TV and he's a doctor, but he's taken it to the masses on TV. Well, you could reach the masses through a blog, through YouTube channel, and talk about various elements and things that can help people. So here's, besides looking at yourself, another method is Amazon.com. Browse through all of the book categories on Amazon. You can also look for popular physical products that are selling within Amazon. What kind of, products are people looking at buying? What kind of products are popular? You could leverage Amazon's recommendations for each niche category to get an idea. Look at things like their Amazon bestsellers, the hot trends, the top rated items, and the most wished for items. That will tell you right there if a niche market that you're looking at pursuing is a hot one or not. Now, keep in mind when I'm talking about niche selection and the ways we're going to talk about the ways you can make money in that niche, but I want to touch on this that it doesn't have to be a blog business. It doesn't have to be a podcast. It doesn't have to be an ebook. It could be an e-commerce store where you're selling physical products, and that's the kind of business you want to have. So it really doesn't matter, how you're going to make money with it. And it does to a point when you're choosing that niche, obviously, but it also, there are many different ways that you can profit from a certain niche market. So there's many different avenues that you could pursue. You could do e-commerce, you could do blogging, you could do a combination of all those things. You could just focus on podcasting and getting as many subscribers as possible, building up a fan of raging followers and converting them into customers. So, maybe podcasting is your passion. There's all sorts of things you can do. This is a link here on Amazon that will tell you all about their best sellers. Once you're there, you'll actually be able to click on the hot trends, the top rated and most wished for items. So it's Amazon.com/best sellers letter Z, G, B, S. And you could also look on the search engine or on like Google, for example, your favorite search engine, and go to Amazon bestsellers, do a search for that, and that should bring up the same link in case it has changed on us. You can also quickly uncover potential niche markets that you can pursue through Amazon. You're going to find like, wow, these types of products are the most wished for items, or these items are the best sellers in this category. So maybe I should go into this space, especially like the book categories. That's going to really give you some good ideas as to, what kind of topics people want. If you look in the how-to book section and that kind of area. Like we're over here on the book category in Amazon, you'll notice under books, if you go to the book category in Amazon on the left-hand side, you're going to see all the different possibilities, everything from parenting and relationships to crafts, hobbies and homes, business and money, Christian books, comics and graphic novels, computers and technology. So you're kind of looking when you're going for the niche part, not so much at the fiction books, but you're going to be looking more into the other kind of books, everything from, the politics part of things to maybe the self-help industry. You could look at self-help. And we're going to look here at the health, fitness, and dieting market. And you'll see some additional ideas. So here's like addiction and recovery. That's a big niche market. Aging, alternative medicine, that's a big one. So helping people with common ailments, you're starting to see a similarity here. Exercise and fitness. And if we were to click on diseases and physical ailments, we're going to come up with a whole list of ailments that we could actually pursue further. And so by just clicking on alternative medicine or diseases, let's see, diseases and physical ailments, when I click on that, it expands to everything from abdominal pain to Alzheimer's disease and dealing with that, to chronic pain and how to fix that, diabetes, heart disease. So you could do products on certain products that people suffer from. Maybe people with high blood pressure, you could offer common natural solutions. So you could create training all about helping people with high blood pressure. You could do blogging on it, podcasting if you've helped overcome that. And again, you want to be careful with your disclaimers. Obviously, if you're not a doctor, you want to be careful about, what you say and basically letting people know, hey, this is content that you need to review at your own risk and I'm not liable, and have your health disclaimers in place. And you could Google that. But again, these are hot niche markets that you could pursue and make money with in many different avenues, many different ways. Another thing, again, Amazon, if we're over there on the disease and physical ailments, when I further click on that, I click on pain management, you're going to find different books that come up. You'll notice two of the top ones there, Healing Back Pain and then Treat Your Back, the ninth edition. So that means the first eight editions did extremely well. And that tells you right there, it even looks like an older book that was around 2011 that was published. The other one was published back in 2001, and it's still a big seller to this day. And it was published back in 2001. People want to know how to, get rid of chronic back pain. And so that right there is a niche market, a perfect example of a niche you could pursue. So you could go out, read blogs, read case studies, find stories, interview people, find people that have suffered from back pain and create content, create a course around that. And that just gives you an idea of just using Amazon. So apart from your personal experience, going out using a tool like Amazon to find products. Another thing I did when I narrowed down into the self-help niche market, did the same thing but looked through self-help. Anxieties and phobias. You'll notice that panic attacks is a big problem that people suffer from. People have a big problem with panic attacks. So you could do training, you could do courses based on that, a blog about overcoming anxiety and panic attacks without the need of medicine. Maybe that's a big spin on things. People would be willing to pay for a product that might cost them $37 to $47 as opposed to spending thousands of dollars going to doctors and specialists and medications and those kind of treatments. We're going to look at the sports and outdoor niche on Amazon again and take a look at the golf category. And what you're going to see here is some different products. So here's an example, Why You Suck at Golf, 50 Most Common Mistakes by Recreational Golfers. And that is a really good book. It's going to help people that are running into issues, with their golf game. Everything from mastering the mental game of golf. And these could give you additional ideas for content you could create a blog about. Having a blog on golf would be huge. There's info products you could promote as an affiliate, all sorts of clubs that you could recommend as an affiliate. So lots of possibilities there by looking at the book feature on Amazon. You could also go in, look at the best sellers, look at the hot new releases, the movers and shakers, the top rated, especially if you're looking at going into like opening up an e-commerce site and you want to look at a certain brand of products that seems to be the top rated. You could go through Amazon and look up electronics. Obviously the Kindle's high up there. Then you see this home router. That's actually a really hot item. Cards Against Humanity there. It's a kind of a card game there. And that would give you an idea. Within Amazon, you can go through into any of these categories. On the left-hand side, you could click on baby and see what the hot products are, see what the trending type products are, like the hot new releases, the top rated products, the most wished for items in the baby category. So you know exactly, hey, these are the kind of items I want to review on my parenting website, or these are the kind of websites or products I want to offer and get a drop ship relationship, or find these products in bulk and then go sell them on eBay. So whatever you choose to monetize your niche with, and we'll cover that in the next video, you could use a tool like Amazon to really help solidify and help you understand what niche it is that you want to pursue. Magazines. Magazines are the perfect test for a profitable niche market. It costs way too much money to print, ship, and keep magazines going to not be profitable. They're not going to stay open long. They're not going to run a magazine. They're not going to spend all that time and money putting it together because you got to pay for the content, the writers. You've got to get the advertising in on them, have ad reps. There's a whole lot of process. You can't just automatically start your own magazine unless you're doing like a digital magazine using software. It's a different story. But if you have a physical magazine that you can pick up in a store, or that's being shipped out by the thousands or hundreds, that costs a lot of money and it needs to be profitable. So if a publisher is willing to go through the hassle, there is a demand. Look at magazines at your local grocery store. That's going to tell you right there what kind of niches you could pursue. And also, if you want to do this just from the comfort of your own home, you could go to a site like magazines.com. And also, you could look at it. Amazon.com has a magazines page as well, and browse through the magazine newsstand on Amazon. And you could also go to Amazon. Go to Amazon.com and just do a search for magazine in the Amazon search bar, or search on Google for Amazon.com magazines, and you'll come across it. So either magazines.com or go to Amazon and look up the magazines. So you're going to find on magazines.com different niche markets that you could be pursuing. So you see, like if you clicked on animals and pets or business and finance, it's going to expand to some additional magazines and niche markets you may want to consider going after. Everything is covered in here on the left-hand side. You're going to see all kinds of magazines, craft magazines. You could see, hey, scrapbooking is something I keep seeing websites around. Maybe I should create and actually go after my passion of scrapbooking. And you could kind of compare what you find as you move forward with more niche selection. But magazines.com is a powerful tool for that. Here's the Amazon magazine selection as well. You kind of get an idea there. You can do magazine subscriptions straight through Amazon. So you could actually look up, like there's bridal magazines. There's a whole bunch of bridal magazines. There's 14 of them out there actually. So that tells you that bridal is a huge niche market. And you could do everything from local bridal websites and directories to other type things. The bridal niche is huge and it's loaded with money that you could leverage and be a part of. So we're going to go ahead and stop this video, and then we're going to cover additional niche selection options, and we're going to start talking about using ClickBank products to find and identify niche markets that you could also pursue. In this video, we're going to talk about some additional ways that you can find niche markets. So we're going to talk about ClickBank products to start out with in this video. ClickBank.com is the web's leading marketplace for information products. Information products like ebooks or video courses sell very well here, and that's really what they started their business on. Their marketplace contains a lot of valuable niche research that you can obtain. So you can find what products are selling, what products have sales behind them, what kind of information people want out there. You could even view products by how they are selling on ClickBank based on certain scores that they offer up in their marketplace. You could look at the gravity score and the popularity to get an indication as to how recently that product sold, how is it selling. And again, it's not the be all end all, meaning if it's got a low gravity, it doesn't mean it's not a popular niche. Maybe it just means that their sales letter needs some work. But you can get an idea as to the types of products, information products that people want. And it's safe to say that even if you don't want to create an info product, if there is an information product out on ClickBank that's selling well, then that could be a good blog topic for you, or a good podcast series, or a good video series, depending on whatever niche, however you want to pursue monetizing your niche and growing your audience. That's going to be up to you. And we'll cover that in future videos here in this course. But it's a matter of just seeing within ClickBank and validating maybe a niche that you've already found on Amazon that you just want to validate with ClickBank as well. ClickBank, again, is how you can make money in niche marketing as both an affiliate or as a vendor. So you do want to keep that in mind, because ClickBank is going to be a very valuable monetization strategy for you moving forward. Even if you decide not to create an information product and you decide to just go the route of affiliate marketing, although you could it's very profitable to be, to have your own information products. You can build your own list up and then do promotions for affiliate offers. But if you choose to just do the affiliate route, you could still leverage ClickBank. They have all kinds of training courses and products that you could be an affiliate on that pay anywhere from 50% to 75%, sometimes a little less, sometimes around 75% is usually about the higher end that you'll find. And it's a great way that you can make money in niche marketing as both an affiliate and vendor. They offer products with commissions, again, of 50 to 75% or higher, so it's much better than being an affiliate for physical type products. Here's an example of what ClickBank looks like at the very moment. If you go to clickbank.com, somewhere on the top of the website, you're going to look for the marketplace. So you want to click on the ClickBank marketplace as you come across it. For right now, this is what the page looks like. It is, of course, subject to change, but it pretty much has kept the same format for quite a while here. So what you do when you're inside ClickBank is you look on the left-hand side for all the different categories, and you can actually see what kind of products are doing well. And we're going to kind of keep with our theme of the health and fitness and remedies niche market. So if you go to health and fitness on the left-hand side and then click on remedies, you're going to see some of the more popular products out there. So you see one of the top one is called Diabetes Protocol. It's got a gravity of 147.92. And so that tells you that this diabetes product, which is all about helping people improve if they have diabetes, that's a big product. A product about restoring somebody's vision, like helping you improve your eyesight. You'll notice that there is a couple of products related to diabetes that show up under remedies as popular items that are currently selling and selling extremely well based on popularity. So you could sort results by popularity, by their gravity score, by keyword relevance. There's different ways you could search here. You're also going to notice up here in the left-hand corner of the marketplace, there's an ad for tinnitus remedy. Tinnitus is a product, or is not a product, but that's actually a training. The tinnitus remedy is a training course, and Tinnitus is a ringing in the ear, in case you're wondering, that some people have. Well, there are products out there that offer natural solutions so people don't have to do expensive doctor visits, and they've created information products around that particular niche market, for example. So what you want to do is, under niche selection, we're also going to choose the sports niche. You'll see that there is soccer training under the sports niche. There is everything from, being the ammo firearm survival guide. It's got a 14 gravity score, volleyball, vertical jumping and training. That's a very popular product. That vertical jumping product has been around for ages and ages on ClickBank. It's a very good product. And this just gives you the idea of the type of products that people put out there. And you could create content around this. If this is your passion, maybe ClickBank will help validate that passion. Or if this is something that you already have knowledge upon, maybe one of these product categories on ClickBank. I'm just using examples here. I'm not telling you to go into any of these niche markets that I share with you, but I'm showing you how you can go to ClickBank and kind of, unearth some of these possible niche markets that you could pursue. The Flippa marketplace is another great thing you need to be going after. Flippa.com is a leading website for sale marketplace. You can find websites for sale on this marketplace and receive valuable niche insights. It's where people go to buy and sell websites. It's probably one of the more popular ones out there. It used to be called the SitePoint Marketplace for those that have been around for a while. You can find traffic data, income data, or email list size. And so it's really cool because when people list their business for sale, they want to give you all the honest, up-to-date information. They want you to know how much traffic their site gets, what kind of income their site has earned, and their email list size. And that's all valuable information to you. So what you can do is you can actually go out to Flippa, and you don't have to go out there to purchase these businesses, but you want to go out there and kind of do some niche research and determine, hey, I'm looking into the tinnitus niche market. Maybe I should do a search for tinnitus on Flippa and see if that is a popular niche. And lo and behold, up pops a blog or solution that says, hey, this website's making $4,000 a month or $2,000 a month promoting a tinnitus product and that kind of thing. And that would validate what you've looked up. You could also just go to Flippa and just randomly look through the categories in the websites, and you could even do advanced searching so you could actually narrow it down by websites that are earning 1,000 or more a month, 10,000 or more a month, and that might really help you identify, hey, these are popular niche items that I want to pursue. You can gain ideas into how they built their business and pick up ideas for your niche websites as well. So you could do this method and gain ideas into how people may have built their business. So you could determine, like, is this SEO traffic, paid traffic, and then get ideas for your niche website, like what seemed to be working well for them, what didn't work well for them. And this is what Flippa looks like. So if you go to flippa.com, this is what it looks like. They've got the search feature. I would advise going to the advanced search feature and then doing a look for, even the completed listings or items that have sold. You could actually narrow it down by looking at past items or websites that actually sold, what they sold for. And this will really help you be a good tool. Not to mention, it's going to be a great tool for you in the future. Once you build up your niche, if you're ready to sell it, you could go to a site like Flippa here and actually list it and sell it. And you can see here where the arrow is pointed, you could actually do a search under websites and look up these different websites here. Like here's an example. This is a picture type website, and it's the buy now on it's $150,000. This is a app type mobile app thing. You've got a hotel website where people are making money as an affiliate. You can see that this hotel website has 61,000 monthly unique visitors. And so that may give you an idea as to say, wow, maybe I need to be an affiliate for hotel sites and travel sites and start my own travel site. And so that's where Flippa could really help you out here, is to do that niche research. You'll notice here, like this one's a technology type blog. It's called like Geekers Magazine. 31,000 visits per month, monthly revenue of $1,200 a month. And if you had several niche markets doing that or niche websites, you would be one happy camper. Even if you had just one making you an extra $1,200 a month. So that would tell you, hey, if I'm passionate about technology, maybe I could do my own technology blog or website. If I'm passionate about gaming, look at this. I could have my own Flash game site. Enjoy your holiday. This is a travel blog all about traveling. So notice this is another travel blog. This site here, it's got low monthly revenue, but look at the visits on that. 16,190 monthly unique visits. Sometimes what you find on Flippa is a lot of times the website owner, the person that currently owns it, doesn't really know much about marketing. They just know how to create good content. And in turn, they've ended up getting quite a bit of traffic. And they may not be the best at monetizing their traffic, meaning where to put ads. And so don't just, write off a niche business just because it has, very low monthly revenue. But look at this one here. It's got 16,000 unique visitors. So that would tell you if you didn't want to go buy this business, which you could if you found one that you really, really wanted that looked good and you had the income for it, sure, you could jump into a niche with both feet and just purchase it from Flippa. And I definitely would not discourage that. But you could also use this again as a platform and say, hey, look, I have seen now two travel related websites. So notice like there's a hotel blog, which is all about hotel reviews or booking hotels or being an affiliate for hotels. And that one had 61,000 visits a month and 8,000 a month in income. And then there's this one, Enjoy Your Holiday, which is a travel blog, and it's got AdSense revenue and it's making, 16,190 monthly uniques. So maybe the travel niche is something you want to pursue. Maybe that's something you do all the time and that you love doing. Here's health and beauty websites that you could look at as to what kind of websites have sold. This one here is up here. It's the Bright and White. It's all about teeth whitening. It's got a monthly revenue of 2,000 a month. And then there's some others on here. Third World Papa. It's an established lifestyle website. So you could actually go through and get an idea as to, what kind of things are kind of influencing these bloggers. What are they doing? What kind of niches are they pursuing? This one is a supplement brand website called Nature's Balance. And, this is another idea for a niche market. So these are all niches that you could find. Notice in the left-hand corner right over here, I actually could size this to determine what kind of revenue are these sites making. 200 a month, 10,000 a month, 20,000, and you can kind of narrow it down based on certain categories and sort by niche categories that maybe you're interested in. I like going to Flippa, just looking through websites and seeing what kind of websites are getting the most traffic, and then determining, hey, do I either want to buy this website and jump into that niche, or do I want to build this niche up from scratch? And I have a proven model here that this niche market does get a lot of visits, that it does get a lot of revenue generated, and it's something I should pursue. And this is what the advanced search feature looks like within Flippa. And just so you guys are aware of it, so you could go in here and you could choose auction or private sale. You could choose the auction status. Like you could pick one listings. That means listings that have actually sold. So you could get a really good indication as to the demand if it actually sold. You could look at all listings, both unsold listings, one listings, and open listings to really get a good narrowing down of all the niche markets that are out there. You could look at the age of the website. I like to look at websites that are 12 months older. So at least 12 months old. That means it's been around for a full year, and it's very difficult to look at a website that's only been around for maybe a month or 2 months and it's making all this revenue, because it tells you there's something happened there that's not consistent. So maybe they did a product launch, which is great. That would actually tell you that maybe that's a hot niche, or maybe it's fabricated data. So I like to look at sites that have been around at least a year, because that gives me an idea as to, is it a viable niche market as well. And then you could look at traffic. So you could pull up websites that are at least a month old, or at least 12 months old, at least a year old, with traffic of between 1,000 or 10,000 visits. You could say, I want to look at all listings that have at least 10,000 unique visitors a month, that are a year old or older, that make at least 500 to 1,000 a month. And those are the websites that I want to pursue. And then this will actually pull up all these listings for you, so you can see what they sold for. And then you could, more importantly, look at the niche market, look at what they're doing. Are they doing it with blog sales? Are they doing it as an affiliate? Are they doing it through drop shipping? So this is the invaluable way to do your niche market research. And here's another example. When I really did this search to narrow it down, I came through 2,283 listings that match this. These are like past listings that were won in the past. There's a lot of listings that you could go through here. And this one here, it went for $12,000, and it's got monthly unique visitors of 12,000. And it will go through the list here and give you an idea as to what kind of topics people want. Notice this one about Snapchat. That's a big social media thing. 885,000 monthly unique visitors. 885,000 monthly unique visitors. So that would tell you that, wow, that's a hot, niche market. That's a very hot, popular app. Maybe I should create a site around that. Notice this other one, Passport to Perfume. It looks like this one's kind of a combination of a travel and a perfume type website. So again, another travel niche. So we've now found 3 different travel sites that ironically had, over 15,000 or so unique visits, that were getting a pile of unique visitors, And we've now identified 3 different travel sites. So that tells you right there, boom, that's a hot niche market. That if you are passionate about traveling, or if you want to learn more about traveling and create a website around it, you could. Again, you do not have to be an expert on any of these niche markets to pursue them, because you're going to be the one that goes out there, spends time researching it. And studies have shown if you spend time researching anything for 100 hours, or you've worked on it for over 100 hours, then you can actually become an expert on that topic. So you're going to spend probably more than 100 hours building up your niche market from start to finish, all the time writing the blogs. You're going to soon become an expert. So if you find something that's profitable and you go, nah, I don't know if I want to pursue that, but you see that it's profitable, like traveling, go for it. It's going to become something you could become passionate about. So in the next video, we're going to talk about some more niche selection strategies for finding the perfect niche markets. In this video, we will be talking about more niche selection strategies. And we're going to start with going after common ailments as another very popular niche market. Because within common ailments, there are literally hundreds of possible niche markets or angles that you could pursue and go after a quality niche market. People suffering from common ailments are open to natural solutions to their problems. That's just a common fact, and it basically brings people together. There's whole support groups, there's websites that are there to help people, there are networks of people there to reach out and help them. And the thing is, if they can come up with natural solutions to their problems, it saves them a pile of money going to the doctors. And it's very important to a lot of people. Some people, they want to go to the doctors, and that's completely fine. And then there's a whole nother subset of people that they want natural solutions, or maybe the solutions at the doctor have not worked, but they're not willing to give up finding a solution to their pain or whatever the issue is. There are natural cures or ways to cure certain ailments without the need for expensive medical procedures or prescriptions. There are certain things where one of the only solutions in the medical world is surgery. Well, that costs people thousands of dollars. It may not be something people could afford, or they don't want to afford taking the time off work. They don't want to take the risk of surgery. And so if they could find a natural solution, they're going to spend $37 to $47 or more on a possible solution. So this is a niche where you want to have a good disclaimer in place, obviously, because you don't want to be, promising these solutions. It's just like if you're in the internet marketing niche. It's really no different than that. It's like any other niche market that you're in. You're basically letting people know, hey, you are going after, you are going to digest this information. It's at your own will, it's your own information. It's for your own information. It's something that it's up to you to determine if it's good for you or not. And so that way you don't have people coming back and say, well, I tried your ailment and it made me go broke, or I ended up breaking out in hives or something. So they come back after you and say it was because of what you instructed them. As long as you have your disclaimers in place, you're protected, because then it puts it onto them, the onus onto them. Much like an earnings disclaimer covers you if you're teaching people how to make money online, you're saying, hey, by purchasing my product, I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to make money. I'm letting you know that all the results, people having success online isn't always the typical results, that it's like anything else in life. You get out what you put into it. I can't guarantee that, everything's going to match up. And you can find a good health disclaimer online by doing a Google search. And there are some providers out there. There's a lawyer out there named Michael Young, who's an internet marketing attorney, and he actually has health disclaimers that he sells as part of his package of forms and web forms. So anytime you can help someone be more comfortable, you are in a market that can be very profitable. So if you can help somebody be more comfortable, if you can help people save money, make money, or help them be more comfortable, or help them be more confident, or improve an area of their life, you found a winning niche market. And with the common ailments market, you're helping people become comfortable again. You're helping people find a solution, and you're actually, in the end, helping them save money if they don't have to go through the expensive treatments. So one thing you can do to start your search if you decide to look into common ailments is to look at the popular health site WebMD.com to find common ailments that people suffer from. People suffering from these common ailments are open to natural solutions to their problems. They are open and ready to find natural solutions to these problems. There are natural cures or way to cure certain ailments without the need for expensive medical procedures or prescriptions. That's just a fact, and it's been known for quite a while. This is a niche, again, where you want to have that good disclaimer. So webmd.com is where you can go. And then you could also use your research in conjunction with ClickBank or Amazon book research to back up your findings. So if you start out going to webmd.com and you go out there to webmd.com, you find a bunch of ailments, and then you want to cross check it, reference it, and say, hey, I want to look at ClickBank to see if ClickBank products are selling there. And if you see that, then you go over to Amazon and go, wow, look at there's 500 books on this subject on Amazon. Then ding, 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 you've hit a home run potentially as a great niche market that you would want to pursue and go after. So I'm going to show you what to do. If you go to webmd.com, it'll say health A to Z at the very top of their website there. And you can see where my arrow is pointing right above the gentleman drinking, it looks like milk there, and or drinking something. And if you click on that, it'll say health A to Z, and you could actually sort them out by certain treatment options. So you'll notice that, if you click on the letter B, it brings up all the common topics or common ailments that people may have, along with the hot topics that are out there. So you'll notice like the one arrow I have under hot topics, it's pointing to eczema. And there's 2 eczema products that are showing up there. So you could say, wow, so people that really suffer from eczema, they might be really looking for a solution or a natural solution to their problem. So maybe I could research some natural cures, get together with somebody that maybe has done that before, or hire a researcher that creates a really good high value product and create an info product on that, or create an ebook helping people with skin conditions, or a blog all about helping people with skin conditions or skin problems. So you can see here on again, WebMD, by just searching through each one of these letters here, you're going to find all kinds of possible ailments. And then again, you could take that, go to ClickBank, go to Amazon, and cross-reference those possible niche markets. Next thing is Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages or local phone books will give you a great idea on popular niche markets that you could be pursuing. Get same ideas from driving around in your neighborhood, just like with the Yellow Pages, but this saves you having to even go out of your house. Look at Yelp.com. It's similar to Yellow Pages, but it's more of a website where people do reviews on local businesses. But really, brick and mortar businesses, if they're out there doing well, like you see chiropractors all over the place. Chiropractors are all over. And that's the reason is because there are people constantly suffering with back pain. Well, if you see that, then therefore that might be a good niche market to pursue, is helping people with chronic back pain. That's an ailment people suffer from that you could help them. So examples of finding niche with this strategy would be like, you find golf courses all over your area. It indicates that people have a need to improve their golf game. Dentist, if you're finding that, it indicates that people have problems with their teeth or with their mouth. And so you could research certain issues that people have in their mouth and certain ailments or cures that you could offer them. Chiropractors, again, indicates people have back pain or other discomfort that you could help solve. Insurance agents indicates people that need insurance. They need help. Therefore, you could do a blog that generates leads for insurance companies and you get paid, maybe $1 a lead or $5 a lead, $10 a lead, or you get paid a certain commission. You can become an affiliate, again, for getting insurance quotes for people. EzineArticles.com. This is another great source. It's one of the most popular article directories on the web. It's a great spot to submit high value original content that you can use to get exposure, credibility, and traffic going to your site, just as they say on their website here. So if you look under article categories where my arrow is pointing there, you're going to see all different categories. So everything from health and fitness to business to the topic of cancer, all sorts of topics, investing. These are all possible niche markets. They have actually determined that these are some of their hotter topics out there, some of the more hot topics. These are some of the main ones. Pets, these give you all kinds of ideas as to products. Now, if I click on just the health and fitness category within Ezine Articles, this is what I come up with. You're going to notice all these possible topics. Ezine Articles is loaded with articles. They're loaded with categories and subcategories. And again, notice we're kind of sticking with the ailment niche here, but notice all these possible categories for you to go into. The detoxification, the detox diet has been huge. A lot of people are talking about it. You could sell products for that. You could sell certain herbal teas. You could find companies you could be an affiliate for that sell detox type products. You could blog about detoxification. You could do, again, back pain is coming up here, acne, allergies, cures for, dental issues, diseases, eczema comes up here as well, just like it did on WebMD. So that tells you right there skin conditions like acne or eczema. Right there, we're seeing multiple things: cosmetic issues, aging. All these are related to the skin. So as you go through these niche research methods, you're probably starting to come across and go, wow, okay, so I've seen a lot of similarities here to people with skin conditions or skin problems. So therefore, I could do a blog that talks about acne cures. I could on that same blog talk about eczema treatments or helping them there. And on that same blog, I could go in and I could, help people that are struggling with getting wrinkles and they want to remove those, or they're having dark circles under their eyes, and I could offer creams or serums for that and solutions to help resolve that. And if you go into the health and fitness categories, again, you're going to find more topics and you're going to see which ones are the most popular with the most articles. Notice the build muscle category, 28,320 articles. Notice the other one at the very top, acne, once again, 29,000. Eczema, 6,500 articles have been written on eczema. Do you think that that's a profitable niche? I would say yes, because if you clicked on those, you're going to see a listing of articles that people have written. The main reason people write articles on a site like Easy Articles is to get traffic back to their very own website. That tells you right there if they're willing to spend the time and energy to either invest in paying somebody to write these articles or invest the time, because we all know time is money. If they're willing to invest that time and energy and money to create content for this site to get traffic to their website, and they've written multiple articles on Easy Articles, that tells you that that niche is being, profitable for them. It's a niche that they want to pursue. And you'll see like diabetes is up there as well, 15,555 articles on that topic. You could click on that, then go in, read about the authors, click through to their websites and see how they're monetizing those niche markets. This is another way to do niche research that is on top of going out through Flippa and through those other resources. So now we're going to talk all about make money from the niche market that you've chosen. We've just laid out some of the best niche research strategies that you're going to find on the internet today. And this is going to help you identify niche markets that you can pursue. And now we're going to go into detail on how you can make money from the niche market that you have selected. And it's all about multiple streams of income here. And this is going to be a lot of fun teaching you how to make money with your niche market. Monetizing means making money, or monetization. It's how you're going to make money, generate revenue from the niche market you've chosen. So here are some ways that you can make money with niche marketing or niche that you are pursuing, or an online business basically. We're calling it niche marketing, but in all actuality, it's basically with the business that you've chosen, the business model or the market that you've chosen to pursue. Affiliate marketing, this is where you promote products for commission. So it could be a set commission of, say, $50 for every sale, or it could be a percentage. Like if it's a digital product, it could be 50 to 75%. If it's like a supplement, it could be 20%. Or if it's a product that you're an affiliate for on, say, Amazon or eBay, especially like Amazon, their commissions range anywhere from 4% up to about 10%, depending on the type of products you're promoting. So usually about 6 to 8% in there for Amazon. And so that gives you an idea as to what kind of products and percentage you might be looking at. It could be physical products or digital products that you promote and recommend to your audience based on the niche market you're pursuing. Cost per action. This is where you get paid for sending leads. So if you've chosen like insurance or maybe even travel, you could get paid for sending leads. Get paid a set amount for sales. So this is similar to affiliate marketing, where they call it cost per action, and affiliate marketing generally could be lumped into this as well. Especially if you're promoting like supplements, you could get paid a set fee of $20 for every trial that somebody signs up for. Or if you're doing insurance leads, you get paid $1 or $10 for every lead. Building an email list. So no matter what niche market you've chosen, you're going to want to build up an email list. So this is a list of people that are interested in what you have to offer. It allows for ongoing promotions to a targeted audience of people. And you can build up your email list by the thousands once you really get your business growing. And when you get it up to that level, that's when you can see the sustainable full-time income. It's the best way to generate that consistent income that you're seeking. And if you look at an email list, you look at it as an instant traffic source, an instant way that you could send an email and you have an instant source of traffic to an affiliate offer, to your own product, to your own services, whatever it is that you're offering for your niche market. That's where building an email list is so essential. So I would say it's an essential niche marketing monetization strategies to build up an email list. Creating your own information product. This is where you create a product that you make all the profits on because it's all your product. It's 100% yours. This allows you to build a quick list up as well because you have a list of buyers that actually purchased your product. Contextual links. This is another way that people can actually generate revenue with their blog or their affiliate site. This is where you get paid when people click links on your website. So as people are reading through your content, and you'll see this on a lot of more, higher quality, high traffic type websites that have been around a while. They'll have these links that will have a certain keyword phrase. It might be the phrase weight loss, or it might be golf training. And all of a sudden that keyword phrase is hyperlinked and it's green and underlined, or it might be blue and underlined. And somebody clicks on that, you get paid for somebody clicking on that link. Google AdSense is another example. Those are ads that display, and you can actually get paid by just creating really good, solid content. There's some businesses that is their business model, and they do very well at it as well. Selling your niche websites. This is where after you've built it up and you've built up an email list, you've got consistent traffic, you've got sales coming in, you could actually make money selling your website. You could also put in all the effort to build up this great niche business and then sell it before it's really exploded. You're obviously not going to get as much for it, but there are people that actually build niches up just to turn around and sell them. And then it's all about multiple income streams. So it doesn't mean you need to pick just one of these. And another example might be drop shipping. So that's where you find a supplier for certain products and you turn around and you sell those, and they're physical products that you're selling in your own e-commerce type store. That's another way you can make money from a niche market. Another method is services. You could offer services like setup services, coaching services, consultations, diet, training and exercise routines. You can come up with all sorts of ways that you can monetize beyond this list that I just gave you. But in the end, to have an effective niche business and niche marketing plan, you want to have multiple streams of income. And that's where you can also go out there and create multiple niche sites. Once you get one making you money and you get comfortable with the process, you could start another one, or you could really just grow yours, take it to the next level. You could, make affiliate revenue, have an email list, have your own digital product, have websites that have contextual links, or actually sell advertising on your site beyond just Google AdSense and actually sell advertising space. Create coaching programs or training programs so you have multiple streams of income rolling in for you at any given time. And that's where you're going to really see things kick into high gear. So affiliate marketing, this is when you get paid a commission for referring a buying visitor to a vendor's website. Commissions can range, again, anywhere from 1% to 100% depending on the product. There are some digital information products that will actually give 100% commission because their end goal is just to generate a buyer's lead. And that's why I was recommending having your own email list and building that up with your own product. It's a quick way to do that is to have your own information course. Physical products, they have lower commissions, but sometimes are higher in demand, so the conversions are much, much greater. So you could find physical products. You could maybe find a supply of physical products that you could get from a manufacturer in China, and you could go to a resource like Alibaba, which is a popular place where people can barter and trade and get good deals for products through the international markets. Physical products, you could stock up on those, sell them through your website, sell them through eBay. That's a whole nother different niche market that you could pursue as well. Digital products typically will pay commissions between 30% and up to the 100%. Generally, it's going to be between 50 and 70%. And higher ticket digital products will go anywhere from 30% to 50%. And that means info products like complete training, coaching type courses that are going to go for in the $1,000 range and up. 100% commission on a $7 product, that would be like $7 in commissions before fees are taken out. And then if you look at it with a 50% commission on a $47 product, then you're actually getting $23.50 in commissions before any fees are taken out. So even though it may look attractive to promote the product with 100% commission, you may want to consider promoting that product with the 50% commission because you're actually making more money per sale. You're making 3 times per sale. That means you would have to make 3 times the sales of the same product. And in doing so, you're actually just building up someone else's buyer's list for them for the $7 products. You might be better off doing that. So when you're kind of assessing products to promote, and I wanted to share this example with you, then you may want to consider sometimes the lower percent. And then you could take it a step further here, and the 30% commission on a $997 digital product training course would be $299.10 in commissions before the fees are taken out. That is over 10 times the price, almost actually 11 times or so, the price of the 50% commission product. So the lowest commission product here actually ends up making you the most money. That means you might want to put in a lot of effort to promote that 997 product because you would have to sell 11 times the products, and you would have to sell almost 30 times, just about 29, 30 times the product of the 7 one. So every time you sell 30 of the $7 units, you could sell one of the other one and make money. And it's going to take you a lot more effort to sell 30 units of a $7 product than it will to sell one item of a $997 product. You could sell 3 of those and make almost $900 roughly on the 30% commission. And to make the same amount of revenue, you would actually have to sell over 100. So you'd have to sell almost 30 to 40 times of the $7 100% commission product. Referrals are sent through a tracking link most of the time. That's how affiliate marketing works, and that's how you get paid. It's affiliate marketing, again, it's kind of like being a commissioned sales rep for certain products, services, and that's kind of what it used to be known as in more of the offline world. And that's what affiliate marketing is online, and so a referral tracking link is used. Your goal is to get as many targeted visitors to click on your unique link, and that's where you can monetize your sites, you can monetize your blog with good content that's valuable to people. Place your affiliate links or banners on your websites that you pursue. You could place it on your download pages for relevant offers. If you're selling your own physical product, you could also promote affiliate links to your buyer's list or put it on your download pages to attract people. Promote your affiliate links to your email list as well, as I just pointed out. That's another method for affiliate marketing. So here are some common affiliate networks, and this monetization part, even at this stage, you should know kind of what niche you're going after. But even if you're kind of on the fence, this would be a good time for you to actually research these affiliate networks and say, hey, are there places that I could actually promote products related to this niche that I'm considering? Because what you don't want to do is go into a niche market where there seems to be a lot of demand, but it's hard to monetize it. Now, most of the time, if there is a niche that is in high demand, there's going to be a way to make money from it. But every once in a while, you may come across that. So if you have a strategy knowing, hey, I've got this product X, Y, and Z that I could promote as an affiliate, then that helps you a lot. So that's where affiliate marketing can really benefit you as part of your niche research as well. Affiliate networks include CJ.com, used to be known as Commission Junction. Now it's purchased by a company named Conversant. And CJ.com is a big one. It's just a large affiliate network with lots of products that you could promote. ShareASale.com is another big one, ShareASale.com. LinkShare.com is another really big one. ClickBank.com, we've mentioned that one before. That's a place where you could promote physical products. AvantLink, another popular one. WebGains.com, Avangate, JVZoo.com, a lot of digital products, especially more of the internet business type products. Popular affiliate programs. So these are really popular ones. The Amazon.com, Amazon Associates program, eBay Partner Network. On both of those, you have unlimited products that you can promote. So you should have no problem, no matter what niche you've chosen. You're going to find some physical products that you could promote for sure. And even if you find a very high value niche, you could create your own product and put it on ClickBank, your own info product. Tips to finding other affiliate programs. Look at the footer of websites that you want to promote. So find websites in the niche that you're pursuing. Maybe it's websites that you frequent yourself, and look at the footer of their website. A lot of times they will offer a link that says affiliate program, affiliate information, or ways to make money, those types of things. So look at the footer of places where you go and get services done. So maybe it's places you do your web hosting or other types of services that you may use. Web hosting, autoresponder services, those kind of things will offer that service. Maybe you go somewhere and you get stock trading advice and you've decided that, hey, I want to go into the stock trading niche, and you could find out that, hey, this is a good resource and I use this site all the time for my stock tips, and they might have an affiliate program as well. It could be maybe it's a supplement you're using. You might want to look at the footer of their website and see if they have an affiliate program. So there's lots of ways that you can come across places to promote as an affiliate. Now we're going to talk about CPA marketing, or cost per action marketing. It's similar to straight affiliate marketing, which pays on the action of a sale. CPA generally pays out a set amount, so it's not a commission percentage, so it'll pay a set amount. CPA offers don't always require a sale for you to get paid. It could just be a lead. It could be somebody doing a trial offer. That's typically what CPA is more known for, is getting people into trial. It could be like email submissions or leads, especially like insurance type things, or people completing surveys and getting onto somebody's list. Some companies will pay for those leads ahead of time because they're valuable to them. Starting a trial again for like supplements that does well. Here's some popular CPA networks. There's one called ClickBooth, not to be confused with ClickBank, but ClickBooth, CPA Way, Peerfly.com, W4.com, MaxBounty.com, NeverBlue.com, known as NeverBlue Ads, and then you could also do a Google search for CPA networks. But this list here is a nice list of CPA networks, companies that you could find additional products to promote that maybe you couldn't find on Commission Junction or ShareASale or on the other platforms we talked about in affiliate marketing. Many of these CPA network sites that I list here also have straight commission-based type products as well that aren't just for CPA, but most of the offers there are more cost per lead things. And so no matter what niche you've chosen, especially like diet, health, those kind of things do extremely well for having products to promote through CPA format. Building an email list. Your email list, it is your main asset. And I touched on that briefly at the beginning of this training. And it allows you instant traffic. You can follow up and promote to this list long after they have left your website. If you are focused on building up an email list effectively with a landing page or some sort of a free offer, or you're getting people to opt in on the sidebar of your blog, or maybe at the end of your blog post, you recommend that people join your newsletter, join your email list. It allows you to follow up with them after they've left your website. A lot of times when people leave your website, they're not coming back. And oftentimes it takes multiple follow-ups before people are going to come back to your website. So it takes oftentimes, to get the action you want, you're going to need to follow up. And that's where an autoresponder comes into play. Email marketing, it provides you with an instant list, and so it's instant traffic. You can promote, again, your product or an affiliate offer, and it's one of the most essential ways to having a long-term consistent business. So here are the basic steps to building up an email list. You need an autoresponder software. You need a free giveaway offer or an ethical bribe. So no longer does it work to just say, hey, join my newsletter, but you want to give people, and you could have them join a newsletter, but you want them to know what kind of content they're going to get from that newsletter. What are they going to learn from you? Are they going to get weekly tips, weekly stock advice, monthly stock trading advice, monthly diet and exercise routines? What is the case, that they're going to get from you? Is it an ebook? What's the benefit? Is it a video course? Is it an audio course? What kind of benefit are they going to get? So you need to create some sort of an ethical bribe. And it could be something like we're doing here, where it's a PowerPoint training put onto PowerPoint, just like this video you're watching now, using a Logitech USB headset. That's what I'm using to make this video, and a software like Camtasia or Screencast-O-Matic to record what you have. You can place this then onto what's called a squeeze page or a landing page with some bullet points as to why they should download this report. What are they going to get from this content, from this material? And then you need to focus on sending traffic to this page. And we'll cover traffic methods later on in this course as well. So video traffic are, posting videos online and sending people to the squeeze page, articles, social media posts, paid traffic at the bottom of your blog post, having good quality content, getting people to purchase your product, and those kinds of things. And we're going to cover that in more detail on how to build an email list in the next video because it is so important. Creating your own info product. This is where, creating a product, it's absolutely vital to your long-term success with niche marketing because it really establishes you as that expert. Gives you credibility, sales, and builds up that email list for you, a list of buyers, a list of people that have visited your website, and you have like a pop under there. And it's here's some methods for quick product creation that you may want to consider. So you could do an ebook would be a great start. And this is where you create an outline which includes your main points as to what you want to cover in that training course. One thing that I like to do, and I've got an example here, is I like to go to Amazon.com, and you'll notice when you're looking at books, they have a look inside feature. And so you could look at books in the nonfiction department, books that are related to the niche market you're going after, whether it's books about golf or ailments or the niche that you're pursuing, relationships, business advice, marketing advice, and do the look inside feature for outline ideas of ways you could structure your outline. Now, I wouldn't recommend that you copy an outline exactly, but I would get some ideas from maybe 5 or 6 other books on that same topic on Amazon and just click on look inside, and it actually gives you the first few pages so you can see the table of contents because Amazon wants you to see what a book's about before you purchase it. Again, don't copy it, but take ideas. Another idea is to look at Yahoo Answers for questions that people want answered in your niche market. So go to answers.yahoo.com or just Google the phrase Yahoo Answers. Another popular site that's similar to this is called Answer Bag. And you can go in, type in the niche that you've decided you want to pursue, and come up with a list of questions that people in your niche have. You could also go to forums in that niche as well to get additional ideas. Look at easingarticles.com for subject matters that they've covered in articles and think of ways that this must be a popular topic because this author has been writing about this for a while. And you could, work up and actually make that one of your chapters, one of your modules in your training course. A video course, similar to an ebook where you're going to create your outline, and you could do it using the same methods I just covered above. And you would use a tool called Camtasia or Screencast-O-Matic to record your on-screen activity. And that's exactly, I'm using a tool called Camtasia now. And again, I have a Logitech USB headset, and I'm recording it onto PowerPoint. You could also use OpenOffice, which is another way that you could create PowerPoint files. And it's just a matter of taking your content, your research, what you've done, what you've researched. Maybe it's a niche that you already know about, and you can make them into bullet points, make it into a product. Interview, this is where you find someone influential in your niche and conduct an interview with them. You could get a group of people together and have a nice interview style product. So find people in the niche. And this is an awesome part, especially for you if you've chosen a niche that maybe you're not 100% knowledgeable about, but you know people that excel in this niche, or you've basically put in the legwork to find people and connect with them on social media, Twitter, and other avenues. You could go out and interview them and create your own product that way as well. Or use the interview as a bonus to your ebook or video course that you've included. And it's a win for the person you're interviewing. It doesn't mean you have to split the profits with them. Although if they want to and they already have a following in that niche, it may not be a bad idea because they could help you promote it. But it also is a win-win for them because they gain exposure to your audience. And so if you position it the right way, they're going to be flattered and excited to do that. Use clickbank.com to handle merchant processing and affiliate tracking for your own digital product. It's one of the easiest platforms to use, and it's set up for this kind of stuff. ClickBank will also pay your affiliates for you, and you need affiliate-driven traffic because as far as traffic goes, that is one of the affiliate-driven traffic is one of the best types of traffic that you can obtain for your business. You can also get additional traffic just from being on their marketplace, from people stumbling across your product, and most importantly, from affiliates finding it. And that's where ClickBank really excels, is in the digital product space. So that's where creating your product is a great way to get established in a niche market. Contextual links, they're found in content, and if clicked, it creates revenue for you. So it might be something where you get paid 50 cents every time someone clicks on a link in your site, or you might get paid 25 cents every time somebody clicks on a link. The goal is to get as many targeted visitors to your site to potentially click on these links. Now, there's a site out there called Ask Dave Taylor. There's several other ones out there. His is more of like techie stuff. And for the longest time, he was monetizing his site with Google AdSense, and many, many years, and complete full-time income, obviously, doing extremely well. There are people that pull home six-figure incomes by just doing Google AdSense. Joel Comm is another person that in the past, he is, rose to fame because he has done extremely well with contextual type advertising with Google AdSense. And he has websites that had targeted visitors on it. Google AdSense, it's a great example of this type of advertising, and quality content, just like anything else with this business, is key to making this strategy work. More traffic means more potential clicks on your website, and that's just a proven fact. And you can see here an example where on certain websites you'll see this pops in there, Android. This is an article talking about, looks like Android or something to do with mobile opportunities. And, so this is where somebody clicks on that website owner would get paid. And then finally, we'll talk about selling your niche website. Now, there are many other strategies I could talk about when it comes to monetizing your niche. That could include things like offering services to other people, coaching help, and we touched on that. Offering an e-commerce store where you sell physical products in your niche. So beyond just these methods, there are other methods that you could leverage, that you could market and promote to your following, that you could actually sell. Building a niche website that you flip, it's a viable income strategy for niche marketing. And there are people that actually build websites that make money, and then they sell them for 6 to 12 times the monthly revenue, or more in some cases, sometimes up to 20 times the monthly revenue. Then you can also build websites and hold them for a long period of time before selling to maximize the income from it and then the final sales price. So if you have a site that's been generating income for a full 2 years, consistent income, then that site's going to be worth a lot more than a business that's only been generating income for, say, 6 months. It's going to be worth a lot more, and it's a good exit strategy for your niche markets. Some people that go into niche marketing, they just want to do it to get into several different niches and just because they enjoy that part of things. Other people, you pick your niche, and that's the niche market you're going to focus in on and monetize it as best as you possibly can. And that's completely fine. Both methods work great. Remember that you are building a legitimate asset here. It does not matter if your niche market flops. If you have a website that's getting any kind of traffic, if you have unique content, which is advisable, otherwise you may as well not pursue that niche. But if you have a blog that you've built up some sort of an email list, all those things are assets. So even if your niche is by your standards maybe a flop. And one thing I want to caution people of though is getting out of the niche too quickly, because that's a big mistake people make is they're so close to success, they're so close to actually seeing the traffic just spike and explode, and they just give up. They give up right as they're at the doorstep of success. And that happens all too often in business and in life and in all kinds of avenues, and they tend to bail way too quick. And so remember that you are building a legitimate asset here. And so even if it flops and you've given it a good honest try, you could still sell that niche business and you have an exit strategy. But there are some people that they go into a niche market and they just build websites just to turn around and sell them, or build info products to sell the asset together. Have a niche website that's well monetized, and this includes, having a good list building strategy in place so that you can show that revenue. And so next, that brings us to the next topic, which is going to be go into more detail on list building. We talked about it here as a way that you can make money with niche marketing. Now we're going to go into more detail on list building so you can actually apply it to your niche business. Your email list, it's one of your main business assets. An email list can get you instant traffic, and that's one of the main reasons you want to obtain one. You can promote your own product that you have, an affiliate offer, and it just helps you generate rapport within your niche market. Especially if you have an email list, you can promote as an affiliate offers for other big players in your niche market that have info products or that can send you traffic, and it creates an opportunity for you to have joint venture opportunities, which is absolutely huge for your long-term business success and your bottom line. You can do follow-up and promote to this list after they leave your site, because what happens is, a lot of times it'll take multiple follow-ups before people take the action you want. And that action could be joining your coaching club, signing up for your services, or actually signing up as a member and purchasing your product. So here are steps to building that email list up. You need that autoresponder software, a free giveaway offer or ethical bribe. You want to place that on a squeeze page or landing page, and we'll go over each of these steps in more detail. And then you want to send traffic to that squeeze page, either through videos, articles, social media, paid traffic. A good rule of thumb is that whenever you set up an opt-in form or landing page that gets people to sign up for your list through an ethical bribe, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to send as much traffic as possible to that page, because that's kind of your main business asset that you're building. Even if you don't get the sale right away, if you can get that opt-in, that's oftentimes a very good thing for you. You can place it on the sidebar of your blog of website and use it to generate income for you as well. Here's an example of a landing page. This is an example landing page, and you can see here, this is basically a report. It says free report reveals how I rank my websites in under an hour and replicate it. And so this basically is telling people what they're going to get. They're going to get a free report, and you could use a simple page like this. And these types of pages, it's got like an image in the background, and it's something that a lot of people are more used to nowadays with their opt-in forms. And so you could put in an opt-in page similar to this and use that as an example. Here's another one. This is where a newer kind of opt-in form where when people click on get instant access, it pops up a small little window for people to put in their email address. And this one again is all about a case study. Free case study reveals how to build a successful first-class responsive email list in less than 30 days. You could also go about it and with a different approach. Free case study reveals how to lose 15 pounds in a matter of 30 days how to lose 15 pounds, how to go on 10 dates in less than 30 days, or how to improve your marriage in less than 30 days. Free case study reveals how to improve communication in your marriage in the less than 30 days. Free case study reveals how to close more sales in less than 30 days. So you get an idea. You could use this as an example. Here's another kind of landing page. This one is a more generic squeeze page using a white background. It's very basic. And this is where these are the squeeze pages that you would set up. These are the types of landing pages that you would want to create where people put in, you basically give people a benefit or a reason to opt in for what you have to offer. Notice the other ones were offering like a free report or a case study. This one here is offering like a video training product, and it says free insider video reveals how to generate massive video traffic and exposure using YouTube. You could also say free insider video reveals how to lose weight. Free insider video reveals how to take 5 strokes off at the golf course. Free insider video reveals how to set up the perfect model train set. Free insider reveals where to find the best products to drop ship for your e-commerce store. Whatever niche market you have chosen to pursue, you could actually set up a landing page similar to this one using a free software called Composer and just using the white background and clicking around on there to actually create this. If you can watch this video, then you have the technical skills needed to create a page just like this one you're looking at. And this is a great page. It's simple, it converts, and it's something that you could leverage as well. So one of the key things is, as you're going along, another way that you can capture emails is beyond just having a landing page or a squeeze page like I just demonstrated to you. And just to point out, the reason they call this a squeeze page, it's basically a glorified landing page, and it's called a squeeze page because it basically is squeezing the information out of people. It could be an email, it could be the name and email, or in some business cases, it could be your name, email, phone number, address, the whole 9 yards. A lot of times you just want to start with the name and email, get the other stuff later because that may discourage people. But that's what a squeeze page is. And it basically gives people 2 options. They either put in their name and email and get the free offer, or they leave. And so generally a page like this, you want to see conversions between 40% and all the way up to 75%. And there are some instances where some squeeze pages convert at 80%. Sometimes they go down to 30%. But it's all about optimizing that conversion rate so you're getting a bulk of the people that land on those pages. Now, again, another way to capture emails is through having like a join now button if you have a forum or you've decided to create a forum in your niche, or you decided to create a blog and you have an opt-in form. That's another way you can generate people's information and actually follow up with them at a later date as well. So these kind of forms, they're not going to obviously perform as best as an individual landing page, but they do well because these are websites where people are frequenting. And if you get enough visitors, you're going to get enough people to sign in and opt in for their free reports. So you'll notice here's another example. As people are on this blog here, up pops a pop-up window that says get your free report. This is a golf product called How to Break 80. And this is all about, get a free report, how to drop 7 shots in 7 days. Download Jack Morehouse's popular report read by over 50,000 golfers, and then put in your name and email. So this is just a simple pop-up that shows up here. You can also see on this golf blog here, they also have the Break 80 newsletter. And this is basically just a picture is all it is with the opt-in form below. It's an e-cover graphic. It's a picture of the product with an opt-in form below. And this kind of business is all about building up building up your business by building up your email list and your email following. It's an absolutely, essential way, and it's a great way to go about growing your online business. So here are list building steps, and I want to show you in this bottom right hand corner just so you understand the traffic element. That blue arrow there, that's going to equal a traffic source, and so I have a picture of one of those landing page examples or a squeeze page, and if you envision this, it's going to make a lot more sense for you, which is why I put the effort into making this. And I wanted to demonstrate for you that every one of these is a traffic source. And so what you want to do is have as many different traffic sources coming in. It could be everything from banner ads to videos to articles to end of your blog post content to infographics, paid traffic, Facebook ads, Facebook posts, social media, all the different types of traffic, podcast as well, where you can get people that listen to your podcast to convert over to this. You want to get as many different traffic sources funneling people to your opt-in page. And the reason you want to funnel them there is because you're going to get much higher conversion there than if they go right to your blog and maybe go to, maybe you have like a 5 to 10% chance they may opt in on the right-hand side of your blog, or maybe 20% depending on it. Now, if they landed on one of these pages, they might have a 40 to 60% chance of opting in, which basically doubles and triples or more, sometimes 4 times even, the impact. So it basically quadruples at times the possibility that you're going to generate subscribers. So you want to funnel all your traffic to a landing page. And so here again are the steps: autoresponder software, free giveaway offer or ethical bribe, place that form on a squeeze page, and then send that traffic to the squeeze page. And then, get it on a link onto, get a link to it on like business cards as well. Any offline marketing you do, also that would also go in as a traffic source. So envision this picture here, and we already talked about the basics of list building steps, and I'm going to go in again. I just wanted to refresh your mind: autoresponder software, free giveaway offer or ethical bribe, place the form on a squeeze page known as a landing page, send traffic to that squeeze page, everything from product launches, paid traffic through Facebook ads, pay-per-click, media buys, and you get the idea. But each one of these blue arrows, even a form on your sidebar or a link on your business cards, each one of these blue arrows is a traffic source that's sending people to opt into your list. If you've focused very, very hard on list building, you're going to be very happy with the payoff at the end of the day. So here's some basics for autoresponder software. Aweber.com, it's a popular autoresponder used by many businesses online. There's many different niche markets that use this software. So everything from professional legal type services like lawyer offices and everything, to small brick and mortar businesses, to people in the internet marketing space, the weight loss space, people selling model trains, people with lists on how to, make better looking cupcakes. So all kinds of niche markets use Aweber. It's an easy to use interface with a reliable deliverability, and it has been around for a very long time. It's probably one of the more recognized autoresponder softwares out there. They also have quality customer support and do a good job with an affordable monthly fee, especially a great starting fee as well. There is click tracking and analytics, so you know every time you send an email, how many people opened that email, how many people clicked on the email, and how many people went through your content. GetResponse.com is another great autoresponder software. Again, similar to Aweber, it's easy. It's a very simple, easy to use software, point and click, web-based interface. So you can log in on a Mac or a PC, anywhere where you can get an internet connection. Even at a coffee shop, you could actually send an email to your list and make money. And it really comes down to preferences here, and you could compare prices if you want as well. And you could basically try out both systems to see what fits you best. I believe both of them now offer a free trial, so you could do a trial on each, see which one you prefer. It really is a preference thing. I can't say. I actually personally use both. I have an Aweber account and a GetResponse account, and so it's really just one of those things where it's up to you to decide once you test it out. And they also have the click tracking and analytics. Here's another one. This one's a little more complicated for those starting out. It is a simple to use software, but it's called RapidMailer, which can be found at imscrapidmailer.com. It's an autoresponder service that you set up on your own server. So you're not paying a monthly fee. You buy the software for a one-time fee of, I believe, 47 or 67, but there is no monthly fees. It does also offer unrestricted importing of leads. And so Aweber and GetResponse, they actually don't allow you to import leads that maybe you've acquired through other means or that you've purchased. And you want to be careful about purchasing leads, but there are instances where it would make sense to make it easy on you to import certain leads. And so these tools make it easy. They offer click tracking as well. And it's actually great for a backup mailer, especially because it's a one-time fee, but you do need to upload it to a server that you can use. And it integrates with services like SendGrid, which is basically a pay-as-you-go service, which is a reliable deliverability service that some of the largest companies use. And they offer a pay-as-you-go service. So if you're sending per email you send, you pay them a very, minuscule amount. It might be 0.001 cent or 0.002. Now, the one thing to keep in mind though is it does add up. Whereas Aweber and GetResponse, they just charge you a flat monthly fee. These other sources like SendGrid and them, they'll charge you per email. So you do want to kind of monitor it, make sure it's getting a good return for you. But RapidMailer is a good autoresponder software that you don't need to set up. Emailjeet, it's similar to RapidMailer. It's another one that recently came out. You can set it up on your own server, unrestricted importing of leads. It's a one-time fee. And then another one known is arpreach.com. It's known as AutoResponse Plus, and it's a server-side email software as well, just like RapidMailer and EmailJet. Server side, meaning it runs off your own email server. Now, for these to work well, you could also set up your own hosting account that is a dedicated email provider. Like for ARP Reach, you could use a service called Hit Direct, and it's also a email hosting type service. It's basically what you would need is you actually need a dedicated server in order to make a software like this work effectively. Because if you're going to try and use it on a shared web host like Bluehost or HostGator, they're going to come in there and they're going to shut you down. And because you're sending too much, using too many resources on there, and it's going to harm other users on there. So if you are going to do it on like a shared host, be very cautious. And then I would use a service like SendGrid to get those delivered. But it is very possible that you could get a dedicated server as well that you could send from. ARPReach has got the longest history of all the server-side softwares, unrestricted importing of leads with email analytics, like how many opens you got. You could track clicks as well, and it's also a one-time fee. Another software for those really starting out. Now, this is for those on a budget, but Listwire. It's an absolutely free autoresponder. Quality service with good deliverability. Now, there is an ad that runs at the bottom of emails. Now, that's up to you to decide if that's worth it. It's one of the ways that if having a monthly fee or actually having your own web host, your email server installed kind of makes you nervous and you're going to delay list building because of that, then I would look at Listwire. It's free, but there is going to be an ad that runs there. It is something that you're going to want to get out of there eventually, and you don't want to build too big of a list on Listwire because it may be difficult to move over. But once you see how viable list building is, you could move to these paid solutions. And it's good for new list builders as well that might be nervous about it and that don't want to pay a monthly fee. Now, again, it is free, so they do have a way that they make their money, and that's by on occasion they might have an ad run at the bottom of those emails. And of the emails that you send out, it might be an ad for their services as well at the bottom. Because again, it's a free service and they have to make their money somehow. MailChimp, it's similar to to Aweber and GetResponse. It's got a long history as well, and it's a monthly service provider with good tracking, and it's got a good track record. It's again one of those preference things. There are some people that swear by MailChimp, and there's other ones that absolutely abhor it and they don't like it. And so you just kind of got to decide which one works best for you because you're going to get all kinds of different opinions. And my job here is to present you the options. Aweber, GetResponse, I will say, tend to be the most widely used, especially for people starting out. But these are additional options. Clear on down to Listwire, which is a free option for you. Now we're going to talk about your ethical bribe. So we're going to shift gears here and talk about your ethical bribe. People need a reason to join your list. It could be something like sign up for my newsletter. That's just a thing of the past. And, that kind of stuff is old. It's outdated. A newsletter newsletters work if the content is provided, but you need to give them a reason for signing up to your list. Like, what are they going to get from your newsletter? Are they going to get top 5 weight loss strategies of 2015? What are they going to find from that? So here's some ideas for your ethical bribe beyond just a newsletter, where you could actually give them some valuable content. It could be a free report. So we saw that in the landing page examples. It could be a case study. It could be simple results driven training. It doesn't need to be long. It could be a short 7 to 10 page report, very short report that tells people a case study or that gives people simple results driven training. This is the one exercise I do that increases my abs and makes my abs look amazing. This is the one exercise I do that makes my biceps look awesome in the mirror. This is the one exercise I do that helps me improve my golf swing and my golf performance. This is the one step I do to build my business quickly and efficiently. This is the one smoothie I drink every morning that gives me energy I need and the focus I need to be my best at work. So a simple results-driven training does really well with like a free report. In audio training, a simple audio training where you're using a microphone or talking into the microphone on your computer or actually using a microphone that's built into your phone. And you could also do an interview with an expert. It could be a short interview, and you use that as your bribe to get people to sign up. And when we say ethical bribe, I mean a bribe that's good, and you're bribing people to join your email list to sign up for it. Because no longer it's a thing of the past to just say sign up for my newsletter. That's what people used to say, or join my list, join my email list. People need a reason why. Coupon code or special offer, that could be another reason. Hey, sign up to my list and receive a coupon code. Instantly, you get 10% off your next order. Put in your name and email. Instantly learn where to save money here. Sign up to my list here. Free membership. That's big. Join a free membership to my list building training, or get free membership access to my coaching club on how to lose weight and diet and exercise. You could also do like a webinar. Sign up for my free webinar. Join my list and get my free webinar. Get my recording as well. You could do a weekly tips newsletter where once a week you send out an email with weekly tips. That's a way you could use a newsletter. The benefits, again, provide benefits for why people should sign up to your list. How will their life be improved by signing up for your offer? If you can answer that question strategically with bullet points, or even just using, and you don't even need a whole list of bullet points, as you saw from those examples I had, just a nice headline that says, case study reveals how to lose weight in 30 days, how to get that baby fat, how to get rid of baby fat in 30 days or less. And so here's examples of the squeeze page again. Free case study reveals how to build a successful first-class responsive email list in less than 30 days. Free insider video reveals how to generate massive video and traffic using YouTube. And then that right there is a perfect example. These are great squeeze pages that convert well, and they are extremely high converting pages that you could leverage and use. So traffic generation, now that you have your opt-in form set up, you understand the process of having an ethical bribe. You need to have an ethical bribe, meaning an offer that people want to sign up for. You need to have a squeeze page or a landing page set up, and there is technical training that you could go through that will teach you how to set those up. But we'll go into traffic generation. Traffic is the key to growing your list. That involves blogging as well. So traffic is the key to growing your list. We'll start with blogging. And this is where traffic to your blog can be added to your email list. You can have it in the right-hand side. You could have it at the end of each one of your blog posts. You could have pop-ups that show up as they come to your blog, like that How to Break 80 one that we were showing you. At the end of your blog post, you could invite people to sign up to your list. Content marketing is absolutely huge. This is where you could do article marketing and syndication to get content out there. Good quality, highly relevant content. Video marketing, where you actually create videos around your niche market. Create exercise videos. Create videos of you preparing food if that's a niche you're in. Create videos explaining ways and exercises and methods people can use to decrease their back pain or the issues they're suffering from. Videos showing people certain products that you've reviewed, herbal supplements that have helped you with certain ailments. You could do podcasting where you talk about the benefits of going into, with certain different products and using them. Doing a product launch. The product launch is great for building a list because it builds up your list of buyers. You get buyers' names and emails. You also would have an exit pop set up. So as you're getting all this traffic from affiliates, because once you have a product, you can get affiliates to promote for you. And you're actually getting these affiliates to promote, and then they're putting in their name and email, and people are actually signing up for your offer. Pop-ups, again, for people leaving your sales page, great way to build a list up. Paid advertisements, media buys, Facebook ads, those are huge ways to get traffic. There's a lot of traffic in media buys. Media buys are banner ads on quality relevant sites. If you are in the golf niche, it would make sense to go out to a golf magazine or a popular golf website like Golf Digest, or go out to another website that's big, a big blog in your space, or even a golf forum, and buy up a banner ad on their site, or offer to, exchange some way that you could get a banner ad purchased on these highly relevant websites. Facebook ads is another great source. Facebook is an absolutely amazing source for traffic that you do not want to be missing out on. And so Facebook ads is another avenue to pursue. Solo ads is another great way to build your email list. That's where you actually purchase email advertising from people in whatever niche market you're in. A lot of times this is more common in like the Forex and the stock trading and the internet marketing niche, but that's where you go up and you say, hey, I have an email, I have this free offer here that I think is relevant to your subscribers, and I would like to run an ad. How much would you, charge me to send an email to your list? What would the cost be? And you could also say, hey, I'm willing to pay 25 cents per click or 50 cents per click. And can you send me 500 clicks, or can you send me 300 clicks? And that's a great way to send them straight to a squeeze page. And you automatically, from one solo ad, let's say you do a 200 click solo ad, you could automatically right there get about, anywhere from 100 to 120 new subscribers that you could then promote to and get people to opt in. And if you get people to instantly purchase an affiliate offer, maybe you get a fraction of them to do that. You're kind of paying for the advertisement as you're building your list. Solo ads are great. You do need to be careful there because there are, sites, and that's where I would recommend instead of going to the big social ad websites where people are actually doing like big social ads, like ad swap sites and those kind of things. What I would do, or safe dash swaps, that's another popular one. I would kind of steer clear of those, but I would actually go out to easing articles and find people in your niche market that have an email list that look like they're building up an email list and send them an email and say, hey, look, I would like to purchase a solo ad from you. And so these are all strategies you can employ to get traffic to build up your list. Next, we're going to talk all about product creation. We've talked about that as a viable income strategy, but I wanted to go into more detail for you so you could understand how to create your own product for your niche market. It's one of the fastest ways to break into a niche and profit. That's the reason that we've talked about it on the previous slides and why we're going to cover it in just this video designated only to product creation. Your information product will establish you as the go-to expert in your market. And it's also going to give you exposure to hundreds of affiliates. So that means once you have an information product, you can recruit other people that have blogs, that have email lists, that have articles out there that are looking for products to promote within that niche market. You could do what's called a joint venture with them and have them send you traffic. Some of the quickest ways to get traffic and sales is to have affiliate driven traffic, meaning affiliates that have an email list that could send traffic for you to your particular offer. It's a great way to grow your email list extremely fast and allow you to profit quickly in your niche market. So what is an information product? It's a training course that can be watched, that would be a video, listened to in MP3 audio, or read, that would be in the case of like an ebook, or it's a combination of all three of these things. Typically, it's gone through on one's computer or mobile device. So it's something that they can digest on their own. It's a product they can be, digested digitally, meaning they don't have to print it out. They don't have to have a physical book. Sometimes it can be obviously like a regular book or a workbook or a DVD course or CD training, that kind of stuff. But most of the time, a training course is an info product is something that can be watched, listened, or read. Or again, it's a combination of all three. There's some courses that have some reading involved, like through an ebook. They have some audio training, and then they actually have some videos as well. Membership sites can also be included as info products. So if you have a membership site where people are actually paying you a monthly subscription for content, for recipes, for workout routines, for dating and relationship advice, for monthly webinars where maybe you get on a webinar and do coaching, that could be lumped under a, information type product as well. Information products, they're also known as digital products, info products. Those are additional names. So as I talk about information products, just know that sometimes the name digital products will come out or info products. Those are phrases maybe you've heard already. What you want to do with your information product is solve a problem for a group of people. This could be, for an example, parents having issues with potty training. There are real products out there, digital information products, that teach people how to teach their kids to potty train in 3 days or less, or teach their kids to potty train quickly. Let's say somebody's having problems with the ailments and you've chosen that as your niche market. You could do an ebook or a video course teaching people some natural cures. Writing an effective resume, you could do a training course based on that. People are having a problem where they can't get website traffic, so you could do a training all about that if that's something you're knowledgeable about. Help people improve an area of their lives, and that's what an information product is about, solving a problem or helping them improve an area of their life. So improve their money, improve how much money they save, how much money they make, how much money they invest, how much money they're making in their own business, how much traffic they're getting, which then will increase their bottom line. Help people improve with their relationships, with their golf score, get a better golf score so they're not embarrassed on the golf course anymore, or so they close more business deals on the golf course. Health. You can actually improve people's health, how they view themselves, their self-worth, those kinds of things. And again, many niches solve problems and actually improve an area of one's life at the same time. So for example, if we were to go into like the relationship niche, there are people that they may have the problem of keeping and sustaining relationships, and at the same time having a relationship that is sustainable, that lasts, that is mutually, fulfilling and beneficial and leads to, a long-term marriage, that would actually improve somebody's life in that example. Another case might be the money situation where people are having a hard time. They just got laid off from their job and they need additional income. And so therefore the money part comes in where you could teach them how to build a business for themselves. Or there's somebody where, they're having a hard time writing an effective resume. And in turn, that effective resume helps improve their life too, because they get that job they want and they get that self-respect back. And so these are ways where most information products in many different niche markets, they'll both solve a problem and improve in areas of one's life. And I'm telling you, one of the hottest niches has to do with money. If you can help people make money, save money, or make money, save money, you're going to be, you have a winning cause right there. People are all about saving money or making more money, and many niches rely on that as well. Product creation steps. Step one is decide what format you're creating your product in. A video course can be made into an MP3 and an ebook. Keep that in mind. So like this video course that I'm doing right now, with the software I use, it can easily be converted into an MP3 format, which means it automatically becomes an audio. And then you could also take this same training using my voice, and you could actually hire somebody to actually do what's called a transcript of what I'm saying, exactly what I'm saying, and they could convert that into an ebook pretty easily. You could also create your product outline. That would be step number 2. You want to create your product outline. You want to have 5 to 10 main topics or modules that you will cover. These are the basics of product creation. So 5 to 10 main topics or modules that you're going to cover. 5 subtopics that you can cover within each module. So good subtopics. And a bullet point for each subtopic so you kind of know what you're going to talk about for each one of those subtopics. Look at similar niche products on Amazon. Use the look inside feature to really get an idea as to what kinds of topics they're going over in their products. Look at the books and the DVDs as well. Look at the sales pages of other information products in the niche you're going after to see what kind of material they are covering as well. And to get an idea on these main topics that you want to cover, you can go out to the forums in your niche market, go where your audience is hanging out, find out what problems they have and what solutions they're seeking. Look at answer sites like AnswerBag or Yahoo Answers and look at those kinds of websites. Leverage private label rights material, or PLR material as it's sometimes referred to. Another phrase for it is white label licensed materials, meaning material that you could redo and make it your very own. And again, you want to be careful here. You don't want to just slap your name on any product, but you could add value to it. You could actually convert an ebook into a video, convert it into PowerPoint slides and make a video out of it. Again, use Yahoo Answers to get an idea of what people want. But creating your product outline after you've determined what your product's going to be about, that's the next step. And no matter what kind of product you're creating, ebook, MP3 audio course, or a video course, you're going to have the very same outline format that you're going to be using here. And again, view problems people are having in your niche. You're going to know what those are, especially if you're familiar with that niche. If you're not, it's going to take a little bit of research for you to become that expert on that market. Step 3, start creating your product. Use your outline that you've done. The reason I like starting with an outline is it makes the product creation process way simpler and it's very easy to do. Take it one topic at a time as you go down the list. Set small goals for yourself as you go throughout the product creation part. So don't try and do it all in one day. And eventually, as you get better at it, you might get to the point where you can create a product in a weekend or in a very short amount of time. But take it one topic at a time, one bullet point, one topic, and then one subtopic, and then just go on down the list and set small goals for yourself. Like, hey, we're going to go out to eat if I reach this goal, or I'm going to, do this, or this is my goal. I want to have the chapter number 1 finished by Saturday of this week, or whatever the case might be. You could use PowerPoints or OpenOffice Impress to create your product if you would like to, your info product. And then use a tool called Camtasia, which is what I'm using, or Screencast-O-Matic to actually record what is on your screen. And then I'm using what's called a Logitech USB headset. You can purchase that on Amazon. You could purchase it at your nearest Staples store, Best Buy, Walmart even carries them in the gaming section. They also carry that where people can, buy gaming headsets. Like if they're big gamers, they like to talk with the USB headsets, that's where you can find those. You could also use a tool, Microsoft Word, to create your ebook or report, or you could use OpenOffice Writer, which is another free software that works very similar to Microsoft Office. Use private label rights material to create your product. Outsource your product creations. You could pay somebody to create your product for you. You could go out to freelancer.com and say, hey, here's my outline, and I would like somebody to create a video course in Camtasia for me based on this outline. You could go out to Odesk, Fiverr.com, and basically go out there for small pieces of the product creation on Fiverr, because those are going to be smaller gigs. So you could maybe get maybe 2 or 3 pages written for your report, and then maybe find somebody else and have them write another spin on a topic and have a whole bunch of different viewpoints, and then you kind of work it together into a product. And the best way to do it though would be to stick with the same outsourcer, so it's not all jumbled together. But if you want to get some completely different writing styles and opinions, and then you kind of work it, massage it, make it your own, you could outsource through Fiverr, but it would take more of a time that way. I would rather go to Freelancer or Odesk to do that. You could also use Fiverr though to create like PowerPoint decks or slides like this, and say, hey, I want you to take this article or this part of the ebook that somebody wrote and turn it into PowerPoint slides for me. What would you charge? You could actually go to Fiverr to create your small bonus reports that might complement your main package or your main product offer as well. Step number 5 would be to create your, the fifth step here, create your sales page or pitch page. Step number 4 was also doing the outsourcing part of things if you choose. Create your sales page or your pitch page. Your sales page is what you use to sell your product. You want to use the AIDA formula for good copywriting. And so the AIDA copywriter's model is basically attention. This is where you get your reader's attention when they first look at your sales copy. And you can look at the sales copy if you go to ClickBank and see what kind of other information products are selling in your niche. Look at how they're attracting people in. If it's a sales video or if it is a sales page, a sales letter, like a long form sales letter, then it's going to all use the AIDA formula. If it's going to be something that succeeds, it's going to grab people's attention. And this is where you get your readers' attention. It must first get their attention and cause them to want to read further. So this is where things like your headline would play into things. So your reader will be interested only in knowing, what's in it for me? Why should I invest my time in reading on? And that's why a good headline is so important. Actually, some copywriters will say they spend most of their time on the headline, because without a good headline, it's not going to suck in the people to read your content and get them to pay attention. Interest. This is where you gain your reader's interest. You must clasp the readers, grab their interest and showing them why he needs your product or service. You have to create a want for your product or service. They need to want it and desire it. Let the reader know how his or her life will become easier with your product. Make sure you're doing that within your sales copy. How is their life going to be improved by your training course? What is your product going to teach them that's going to help them be better at what they do? Show the reader what is missing by not even by basically, show them what is missing, in their life if they're not going to try your product. By them not trying out your product, they're going to be missing out on all these benefits from it. Gain your readers' interest by connecting with a story if you have it. Stories sell very, very well. Or you could find somebody with a story if you're in the common ailments niche, and maybe it's a niche or a product or a suffer that maybe you haven't had, but you've read stories about people online and you share that story and work it into your copy. That would be absolutely enormous, an enormous thing that you could end up doing. The next thing is, create your sales page or the pitch page. And then step 6 is set up your sales funnel. This is also very, very important. And the other 2 elements there, the desire part, that's absolutely huge. That goes, again, we're back here on step number 5. The desire, this is where you create desire. Tell the readers how exactly he or she will benefit from your product. Paint a picture in the reader's mind. Get them to realize how your product can benefit them. Generalities, they're less convincing. So specific details are far more believable. And here's an example of building up that desire. Within 3 weeks, you will have lost 15 pounds. Imagine the compliments pouring in from your spouse. Think how gorgeous you will look in that new swimsuit. So that would be a great example of being very specific, whereas just saying, hey, you could lose 15 pounds in 3 weeks. You could say, look, you're going to get more compliments, and look how gorgeous you're going to look if you follow these principles and lose that extra 15 pounds that you want to lose. And then again, the last part, final part of the AIDA formula when you're creating your sales copy for your product, for your niche product that you're selling, is the action. Solicit action. What do you want the reader to do next? Tell them the exact step you want them to take. Don't presume that your reader knows what to do next. The PS is, again, another component that another area that almost everybody reads And so use your PS to emphasize your most compelling benefit or restate your guarantee. And don't forget the call to action and use that once again to say, hey, purchase this product, invest in this now. It's a digital product. So even if it's 2 a.m., you're going to get access to this product now. That's where the AIDA formula works. And so you want to create what's called your pitch page or your sales page. You can go to ClickBank and go through their help section to get some ideas of pitch pages. You'll see a sales page as you look at other products in your market, and you can kind of model yours kind of after them. Obviously, don't copy anybody's sales page, but gives you an idea of what kind of sales page you're looking for. And you could do the AIDA copywriters model to quickly create a sales letter. And it doesn't need to be extremely long, but it needs to be long enough to capture the people's attention, get them interested in what you have, build up that desire, and then get them to take action and basically spell out the guarantee that you're offering them. Step number 6 is to set up your sales funnel. An upsell is recommended. And I will say that because with an upsell, you're going to generate most of your revenue from an upsell. A lot of times, if you just have a front end offer, you're going to make some sales on the front end, obviously. But if you don't have another secondary offer, like an offer that's maybe bigger or additional coaching or help or training or Q&A webinars or different ways to help them, then you're kind of missing out because you're leaving a lot of money on the table for you and your affiliates. It'll attract affiliates if you have more potential for income. Plus, it's going to help your bottom line as well. Are you going to offer long-term coaching? Are you going to offer, relevant affiliate offers from key partners? So you could find key affiliate partners and say, hey, if you promote my product, I will add your product on my download page. I will email your offer to my list if you'll promote for me. Step number 7 is to go about recruiting affiliates. ClickBank is great because you need a platform that tracks your sales that affiliates make, and ClickBank gives you that option. It has the marketplace listing on ClickBank, which will actually automatically bring JVs to you by default. They will find your listing in the ClickBank marketplace and come to you. You can actively contact current product creators within your niche market. Spend time getting in touch with them and letting them know about your product. Find list builders on eZineArticles.com. So find people that are actively building an email list and recruit them to be your affiliate partner. Browse marketing forums. Leverage Facebook to find affiliates as well. So there's all sorts of ways that you can go out there, find people in your niche market, use Twitter to contact people that have products in your niche and let them know about the offer that you have. Step number 8 is to launch your product. Get your download pages set up so you can deliver the material. Test your conversions, kind of understand how your product's converting. ClickBank provides analytics on traffic to sales. So they'll give you some basic analytics, like this is how many hops, they call them, how many times people, hopped through your link into your website. And then focus on recruiting JV partners for the long term. That's what you would do here in step number 8 after your product gets launched. And then drive all the traffic you can to your sales page and ultimately to your email list, and then send those people from your email list to your sales page to get them into your sales funnel. So the very next part of the process, we'll talk about blogging. It's a very important element for long-term sustainable niche businesses to have long-term traffic and get traffic that really builds up and allows you to build up rapport and respect in your industry and get more traffic. Blogging is a huge part of any effective long-term niche marketing strategy. It enables you to build a global audience efficiently so you can reach the masses and get found, get additional traffic, and it's something you need to do if you want a good long-term strategy. It's going to take effort, but the payoff is huge. It will increase your exposure online and build your credibility at the same time, and also enable you to pick up on that all valuable search engine traffic, which is free organic traffic from targeted visitors. And blogging gives you that ability much more than any other kind. Just having a landing page up or a generic just affiliate landing page or a squeeze page, those pages are great and they do serve a very important purpose. But the problem is the search engines don't like to generally just rank those particular pages. So if you have a blog that you can tie in with your niche website and put it in another directory, so it's like yourniche.com/blog, you're going to be in a great position. Or if you make your main domain your blog, either way, it's going to help you. You're going to get blog readers, social media traffic, referral traffic, meaning from inbound links, other sites linking to you, because when you have a blog, it's a lot easier for you to publish content that people want to link to. So here's the steps to start your blog. Register your domain name. Get your web hosting. Install the WordPress blog software. It's by far the best blogging software out there. There are many other ones, but this is by far the best one. Add your important WordPress plugins. change your theme around, clean it up a little bit, set your content schedule, and then go over and start promoting your content, creating your content, and getting traffic to your blog. So registering your domain. Your domain name is your address online. Here are tips to choose a great domain for your blog. And as you can see in the right-hand corner, I have a picture of GoDaddy open over there. GoDaddy is one of the best domain registration places on the web. It's the most recognizable. They do ads during the Super Bowl. People know who they are and they really trust them and like them. So GoDaddy's a great one, and there's some other ones as well. One thing within your domain name, you want to avoid numbers and hyphens, and you also want to use keywords where possible. Obviously, don't stuff keywords or make it too long, so you don't want to take a big, long tail keyword phrase, which are great for doing blog posts and articles and targeting keywords to get traffic, but you don't want to stuff those into a domain name. The domain with keywords in it, it's not as important as it used to be, but it does help your audience understand what your site is about. It helps Google understand that also. Memorable domains are more important than actually keyword stuffing and having a keyword rich domain. So here's an example, Dropship Critic. This is a website that reviews drop shippers or online drop shipper sites like Worldwide Brands and Doba and those kind of sites. And so they have a really good name. You know what it is. And then the phrase critic kind of makes you realize like, wow, they're a critic. They're going to review and give an honest review. Beginnersmodeltrains.com. This is another example of a niche website. It's a website that it's simple to remember, and it also explains exactly what it is. It's for beginners that are starting in the model train niche and learning how to set up their track and everything. Here's another domain, firstgolftips.com. So it's obvious what it is, golf tips, and then the first part makes it kind of brandable and catchy. Keep your domain short, use .com or .net. So here are some places to register your domain. GoDaddy.com, which you see open in the right-hand corner, Namecheap.com, and Name.com. These are three of the biggest ones. And then, of course, you could do a Google search as well. You could also get a premium domain if you're willing to pay a little bit more than just getting a straight up domain from GoDaddy or Name.com or Namecheap right away. You can actually register a premium domain that might cost you about $50 to $60, anywhere possibly $19 even, especially on Name.com. You can get some affordable premium domains for $19.99, and whereas at GoDaddy, it's $14, or it might be $8 if you're using a coupon code that you find for GoDaddy on the internet. So you could actually, before you register your domain, just type in GoDaddy coupon code, and you may actually come across some savings for that initial domain, just as a side note there. But one thing to keep in mind is your domain is important. It's not the be all end all. It's not saying you need to spend $100, $200, $300 on a good domain. But I am saying though, you do want to have a nice domain. And if it means you need to spend $5 to $10 more for that domain and get a really nice clean domain, then by all means go for it and do that. You could put your main keyword into the searches on these sites. So I've got two sites open here. One is namejet.com and the other one is name.com. And both of these have an expired domain search feature. On the name.com one, you're going to find that near the footer of their website. So you'll want to go to name.com. You can also register regular domains there too, but go to the very bottom, the footer of the website, and you'll actually see a spot where it says expired domains and also affordable premium domains, and there's some good names there. And then Namejet, they are actually more of an expired domain aftermarket, meaning after domains have left and not been registered, or re-registered, I should say, at their domain registrar like GoDaddy or Namecheap. They're actually put into this system at Namejet, and you have a chance to actually bid on these domains. Generally, you're going to be spending between $59 and $69, but you're going to find some really premium, really rocking domain names. And so what I recommend you do on these sites, you could go in and just plug in your keyword. So if you're going to go into the golf niche, just type in golf, or you're going into the tinnitus niche, type in tinnitus. Depending on the niche market you're going into, acne cure. You could just type in acne and come up with some ideas. You're going into alternative medicine or pain management, just type in pain management, or panic attacks. Whatever the ailment is you're going after, whatever the niche it is that you're going after, just plug that in. Dog training, dogs, dog grooming, pets, and you can come up with some really cool domains that you may find and go, wow, that's a good one. That's one that I want to go for. And name.com has a really good feature. Again, it's at the footer of their website. You can look for affordable premium domains, or you can do a search for expired domains. And then Namejet is another one. And then, of course, you could go to Google, type in expired domains, or also do a search for domain name aftermarkets to find other sites like these ones as well. So you can come up with some cool domains to choose from. You only need one domain, and I wouldn't spend way too much time because you don't want to be held back and trying to find that perfect domain, because like a lot of things, the perfect niche doesn't exist, the perfect domain doesn't exist, nor does the perfect design. Some people get caught up in that and they sit back and it holds them back from making progress. So you need to just pick a domain, pick a good one, and go for it. Web hosting. So after you get your domain name, you need web hosting. Your web hosting company stores your blog online. So here are some tips to choosing a great web hosting company. You want to have them have 24/7, 365-day support, meaning if your website goes down in the evening or late at night, you want to be able to call somebody to find out what's going on. Most of the time, it's not an issue. 99.9% of the time, these kind of web hosts, the big ones especially, have a very good uptime with very little issues at all, and they're very prepared at getting things efficiently and moving back online. You want to find web host companies that have an easy to use control panel, that also offer one-click script installs for WordPress, because that's going to make your life easy when you install and set up WordPress. Again, the 99.9% uptime guarantee, you're going to find that with most super quality web hosting companies. Here are some of the top ones. The first one is HostGator.com. The next one here is Bluehost. GoDaddy.com actually has some good hosting packages. They actually have one that's managed just for WordPress. And WordPress is what we advise you set up your blog on. And so if you go to GoDaddy and you could look up their pro managed WordPress hosting, they actually have WordPress specific hosting that you may want to consider. It's a new service they offer. And what it does is it actually scales up as your traffic increases. It will actually scale up and fit the demand that you have. So it's going to grow with you. It's a really cool service to check out. Another one similar to that that's got WordPress dedicated type hosting is WP Engine. That's another one that you could consider. So the next thing you want to do is install WordPress. So use the one-click software provided by your web host. So if you've gone with HostGator or you've gone with Bluehost, they have a one-click setup. If you are using HostGator, they have quick install. It used to be known as Fantastico within HostGator, and that is actually being slowly phased out, and it's now becoming quick install. So that's something to keep in mind and to take note of. If you are hosting on HostGator currently and you go into the cPanel, you're looking for something called quick install now and not Fantastico. If you are on Bluehost, Simple Scripts is a popular one that's used. Some other web hosting companies may use Simple Scripts as well. Both of these tools, what they do is you actually just log in there. When you're ready to set up and install WordPress, it's just a simple one-click template system. It's very easy to go through, and they make life super easy for you, and we'll guide you through that step. There's more than just one click, but they like to call it kind of one-click install, so you're not having to actually manually upload files. The managed WordPress hosting solutions like WP Engine and GoDaddy, they have other solutions for you as well. Another option for installing your WordPress site is to do the manual install. This is using the famous 5-minute installation that WordPress has become famous for. You could follow the instructions given by WordPress, and I'll show you exactly where those are so you know where they are, where the most up-to-date instructions are accessible to. You could literally have your site up and running in 5 minutes or less. In fact, if you follow through this tutorial, you could have your blog up within 10, 15 minutes. And literally, it's something you could do in a weekend and have your website up and running with your first content and starting to get things going in the right direction. Some people prefer a manual install for security reasons. So there's some people that say using tools like Quick Install, Fantastico, when it used to be there, Simple Scripts, they say that it opens up your site to certain vulnerabilities. And that's something that, if you are worried about, you might want to consider doing the manual 5-minute install. And that way it kind of closes up all those loopholes if you do it yourself. So here's the process for doing the one-click install, or using the quick installation method. So you log into your HostGator cPanel or your Bluehost account. And if you're in Bluehost, you'll use something called Simple Scripts, but it's almost identical to what I'm going to show you. And you're just going to click on Quick Install. Again, you're no longer clicking on Fantastico Deluxe. Once you click on that, it's going to bring up a window that looks like what you see on the right-hand side there. You're going to go on the left-hand side. It's going to list all the different software applications that you can install. There is a pile of different software applications that you can install, including like a web calendar, just all kinds of cool tools like a billing software, analytics software. So lots of cool programs that you could actually install and set up. So what you're going to do is just simply go and click on WordPress, and then it's going to bring up WordPress in the right hand side. You'll just click on continue. Next thing you want to do is install your WordPress. So you're going to choose to actually install which domain. So you use a drop down menu. If you have multiple domain names inside your hosting account, which if you're brand new, then you won't have this. But if you do have multiple domains, you're just going to choose the exact domain that you want. Now, if you already have your main domain already being used, like you have a sales page on it or some other piece of content like a landing page on your main URL, then what you would do is you would want to install this blog in the directory. So where that blank window is right after the /, which I'll point it out to right here, right in this section right here, you could just call that /blog and just write in the phrase blog right there. Then you put in the admin email, your email. Then you put in the blog title for now. You don't have to get real technical in this part. You can do that later on. And then just put in your admin and then your first name and your last name and click install now. Once you do that, it's going to actually pull up this window, which will show 74% done. And then you come over here, it says, congratulations, your installation is ready. So literally it's all done in one screen. So it kind of is one click, because once you click on there, you just have to hit one click for install, and it quickly is going to go to 74%, then up to 100%. It'll show you the progress there. It doesn't take very long at all. And then what you do is you'll be welcomed with, here's your URL with your admin panel. So that's how you're going to log in, your username, and then your password. They're going to give that to you here as well. So you could just plug that in and start moving forward. The next thing you want to see, once you log in, once you actually follow the steps here. So if we go back over here and we go in and we're ready to log in. So I'm just going to click on that button. Again, go to username, admin, and then just do, type in the password or copy and paste the password they gave me. Next thing you want to see is when you're logged in, go to plugins on the left-hand side of this is what WordPress 4.0 works, the most up-to-date version of WordPress. And you're going to click on plugins, and you're going to notice that there's going to be something called the marketplace here. Now you can keep that. It's completely up to you, but it is something they seem to install with these quick installs. And so it's something that you may want to consider just removing. It's basically a shopping ground for WordPress plugins and themes that you can log in there and actually check them out. So what I do is I just go into my plugins and I click on deactivate, super easy, and then it will actually remove this marketplace listing. It does not show live on your website, but it's just something that if you don't want to look at it in the back end or be distracted by it, you could actually just deactivate it. The next thing you want to do is go through the steps of getting your content created. We'll cover that next, but first we're going to take a quick detour here for those people that actually want to install their WordPress site manually. So we're going to go back here, and this is for people that want to install WordPress manually. So what you do is you go to wordpress.org. Again, that's wordpress.org. wordpress.org, and go ahead and click on download WordPress. Download WordPress. And then it's going to, once you click on that, you're going to see some options there to actually download the entire package. It's going to do a zip file onto your computer. And what they've given you here now is a famous 5-minute installation. So you can actually click on a link in there and actually follow through this process that they give you. You could find YouTube videos on this subject as well. It's a very popular routine. It's something that you can easily follow. So you download and unzip the package that you received. You create a database inside your web host, and then you go through the on-screen instructions to install it manually. That's why the quick install is the preferred method. That's what I mainly wanted to show you in this training. But some people, they do want to do the 5-minute install. So I have the instructions pasted in here so you know how to go through them and what to do. And if you do get stuck on those, you could actually go in to YouTube, find a video, or follow through on the tutorials, because they do actually give you more information. Right down here, right below the 5-minute installation, they actually have detailed instructions, and they do a really good job explaining it, and it's kept up to date. So that's a good resource for you, provided by WordPress themselves. Here's what your WordPress dashboard will look like after installation, depending on which one you go with. Both of them are going to look the same, actually, because you're installing the same software. So here's the page that you're going to be looking at here. Next thing you want to do after setting up your site is it's time to install important WordPress plugins. So here are some important plugins. The Google XML Sitemap plugin is a really good one. The Yoast SEO plugin, that one is a tremendous plugin. It gives you really good search engine features. So you can have title tag and all that kind of information showing up for people, for your users. So the Yoast SEO plugin is phenomenal. iTheme Security is another popular plugin for actually securing your WordPress site to prevent hackers as much as possible. The Duplicator plugin is another good one so that once you roll this site up with all the settings and everything, you could actually duplicate it if you had a server crash, or let's say you want to set up another site in another niche, you could use this plugin. You can also use the Simple Share Buttons adder. That's another plugin that you could find, or you could use one called the DigDig plugin. So these are some of the top plugins that I would consider using. Again, Google XML Sitemaps, Yoast SEO, iTheme Security, the Duplicator plugin, the Simple Share Buttons adder. Another good one for social sharing buttons is DigDig if you don't like the Simple Share Button adder. And you just can go to wordpress.org/plugins and you could find some other ones. But you could just do a simple search on wordpress.org/plugins, or you can do it straight from the back end of your WordPress site to actually install these as well. So you could do it straight from within the back end and just click on plugins, and then you can actually do a search for each of these plugins in the back end of your WordPress site. And it makes it very easy and seamless to just do an installation right there on the plugins that you choose. The next thing you want to do is pick a quality WordPress theme, or known as the design, what your site looks like. And you can go to wordpress.org/themes, or from the back end of your WordPress site, just go to appearance and then click on themes, and you can actually go through that process of finding a good quality theme that way. You could also do a Google search for the phrase free premium WordPress themes, or you could also search for best free themes of 2014 or 2015 or 2016, whichever year you're looking at this video. And then you could also, again, find the most up-to-date free themes. And the reason you want to search for premium WordPress themes and put the word free in front of it is because you want to make sure you find the free themes that are out there that you're not going to have to pay for. Now, there are some really good themes that you could get if you go out to Woo Themes. That's a very popular one, which has some really good themes. Theme Forest is another big site as well that you could consider. So now that you have your website set up, it's time to go through the content creation part. So this is where you want to start creating your niche specific content. Content really is the lifeblood of your blog. So here are some ideas for creating effective blog content. Set a schedule for when you create this content. Maybe it's once per week on a Monday. Create content every Tuesday and Thursday. So every Tuesday and Thursday, you're going to create content. And it's really important that you get in a rhythm and a routine, because that's how your blog's going to grow. It doesn't mean you have to 100% stick to it, but you really want to be careful and try and do the best you can so you don't get off schedule, so that you're always having consistent, fresh, quality content out there. Now, there are some bloggers that they might only post a piece of content once every couple of weeks, but they make sure it's a really good piece of content. You could do that as well. You could also outsource your content creation. Go to a site like odesk.com. For the writing part, you could use a service called iWriter.com. It's a popular writing service. Freelancer.com, Fiverr.com, and then there's another popular one out there called freelancewritinggigs.com, freelancewritinggigs.com. You could Google that as well. But freelancer.com, iWriter, Fiverr, and Odesk are all great places to get content created. You want to make sure it's super high quality writing that is going to be, it's written in the language of whatever language your blog is going to be in, that it's super good quality blog content. Here's some ideas for creating effective blog content. So what you can see here is that lists do really well. So for example, the top 15 ways to lose weight in 2015. 8 WordPress plugins you can't live without. These 25 success tips will change your life. 10 romantic destinations for couples. Then you could also do things like curating content. So that's where you find great articles in your niche. You compile them together with links. So for example, 6 must-read articles on gaining muscle. So you could do a post called that, and then you could just find 6 really good articles about gaining muscle, and then you could actually share that out there. Find a really good video or videos in your niche market. Embed the video on your blog with your opinions. Add it to it. So take a good video, embed it on there, and say, this is what I felt about this. It could be, whatever the case is, you could give your opinion on it one way or the other. Don't be afraid about being controversial either, because that does sell and that gets people's attention. Supplement your content with links to sources that back up your point. And to best illustrate that, I have an article there from Yahoo Finance, actually. Yahoo's obviously a great content rich site. And you can see that in almost every Yahoo story, they will actually reference other websites. So they might do a short little write up or a blurb, but they're going to actually say, hey, link off to several different articles so that people can actually link and actually read that additional content related to it. Most of the time, it's found on other sources. And so they're just kind of curating that content together. Grantland.com, it's a big sports website. Yahoo.com articles do this. Grantland.com is kind of in partnership with ESPN, so it's absolutely huge. And they do this with their articles too. They write really big, high quality articles that are loaded with content and that people read and they stick around on their site. And so they're able to sell more ads. But the one thing they do really well is they link to other websites as well and other articles to kind of help supplement the content that they're creating. Write killer headlines for your post. So you want to leverage headline ideas for article directions. You understand article directions. So for example here, what you'll find is that a lot of times on major sites like CNN.com, Yahoo News, Yahoo itself, FoxNews.com, MSNBC, any of the big major websites like ABC News, even a lot of big high content websites, and you'll find this on many other sites. But you'll see this content where they'll say stuff like most popular videos, or you may also like, or like, for example, more from CNN Money. And then also it'll say the biggest phrase is around the web. And so that means other stories that are happening around the web. Now, what happens here, the reason these websites have this on there is because like CNN, they get paid whenever you click on that. Just like, Fox News, whichever site you're on, if you click on one of these interesting subject lines, they get paid. And the reason people are advertising here is because they want to get traffic to their website. And so they're writing up what's called like a information article, basically that's actually, they call it an advertorial. So it's like an editorial piece, but it's more like advertising or pre-selling people on something. And so, for example, advertising is dead. Say hello to content marketing. So that is actually a subject line that they're using. And so you could actually get ideas here because these sites like the Around the Web, that you may also like, the most popular videos, they have really good content, really good, really good headlines that draw your attention, that get your attention because they want to attract clicks as much as possible. So for example, take the advertising as dead and you could say golf training is dead. Say hello to the new methods. Dog grooming is dead. Say hello to the new methods. Traditional dog grooming is dead. Say hello to the new methods. 5 stunning stats about McDonald's. You see that in the right-hand corner? 5 stunning stats about your weight loss plan. So those are ways that you could come up with article ideas that are going to get attention, get interest from people, and build up intrigue. You could also get ideas from yahoo.com story headlines. They do a great job from this. And get ideas from headlines found in the content ads on the major websites, as I pointed out, like CNN.com, for example. Yahoo Answers is another content creation idea. What problems and questions do people have in your niche? And then you could actually go out and solve those problems that they're having. Ezine articles is another great place to find good content that people are writing and creating content on. Industry forums. Engage with your audience on social media. Get involved in Facebook groups and pages. See what questions people have. See what kind of things are getting the most likes and the most shares. If you're a part of a Facebook group and you see a certain website or article link get shared around or get a whole bunch of shares and a whole bunch of comments, then you know that's the kind of content you should create as well. Interview experts in your niche market. Interviews do really well. You could do written interviews and it's a win-win because it gains exposure for the person you're interviewing as well. Offer guest blogging opportunities to select people in your market. If you do that strategy, you may not want to advertise it because you're going to get all kinds of people that may want to take you up on it and it's going to keep you busy. But you may want to find and highlight certain bloggers in your niche and say, hey, I see that you create high value content. I would like to partner with you and see if you would like to do a guest blog for me. You could quote big players in your industry. So people that are well-known authorities in your market, you could do a quote them on your site. Let them know on social media that you reference them in your post, like on Twitter or Facebook. You may get a retweet or a mention on Facebook if you do this. Here's some more blogging tips. Give away your best content. If you don't, someone else will. Some people might think, oh, I'm going to hold back and maybe save that for a product I create later, or I'm just going to do that later. You don't want to hold back because there's going to be another blogger that's going to share that as well. Build the respect of your audience. They're going to appreciate you, being consistently quality with your content. And being consistent is the next point we have here. Consistent with your quality, consistent with your post. And it does take time to achieve massive results with blogging. Provide great content and eventually you will get noticed. You will get noticed. It may take a few years before you see huge results, so don't give up because blogging is one of those things that can take time. And the biggest mistake people make with blogging is they quit too soon. Also, make sure you're building your email list from your blog. Have a call to action at the end of your blog to sign up to your email list. Give away a free ebook or valuable content if they sign up to your email list. Be yourself. That's extremely important. Your readers like to know who the real you is when they read your content. And then promote each blog post. You could do on main social media channels like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest. You could even do a press release if you have a really good content. Relevant social communities like within Facebook groups or Google+ groups. Find bloggers that create resources of content in your niche market. Contact them and say, hey, I just created a really good resource. Would you mind linking to it? Social bookmarking sites like Reddit. Those are really big sites. And so those are all ways that you can get additional attraction for your blog content. And blogging is a key part of your niche marketing strategy. Next, we're going to talk about free traffic methods. Traffic is the key to any online business. You need quality traffic to ensure your niche business takes off. Targeted traffic is better than just any traffic. 1,000 targeted visitors outweighs 50,000 untargeted visitors. And by targeted visitors, we're talking about people that are actually interested in what you have to offer. These are visitors that have gone to a search engine and they've actually looked up your material. So they've actually looked up stuff that you offer. So they've looked up dog grooming services, or they've looked up how to improve your golf game. They've looked up content related to what you offer. They've looked up how to lose weight, how to properly set up your first model train track. So they're actually searching for this information. So they are targeted people because they looked for it. And if you're an untargeted visitor, that means just generic clicks, that maybe you just have a website link out there that's on a website that's about a whole bunch of different topics, all kind of a big hodgepodge together, and you're just getting random clicks to your site. And there's a lot of services out there where you can actually purchase website visitors, and they'll even try and tell you that they're targeted to just USA. Well, that still doesn't target it enough. They need to be people that specifically went to a search engine and showed that they're interested in a topic. They need to be people that actually went out there and found you on a banner ad on a golf website. If you have a golf site, a golf niche website that you're going after, you should have banner ads listed on golf specific forums or golf specific websites. It shouldn't be on just generic websites. And so that's how you get targeted visitors. Quality visitors means they found you using keywords, again, related to your niche market. They can also, again, come from relevant websites, as I just mentioned, and you want people on your website to arrive there intentionally. You want them to find your content intentionally. Either they were browsing around on a related website or forum and they clicked a signature link and ended up on your site. That's still intentional because they were looking for information related to the topic you were on. So if you are in the alternative medicine or alternative natural cures market, you would be maybe on a natural cures forum and you have a link at the bottom that people found in your signature and go over to your website. You could, then again, people that are Google searching for keywords, clicking a link from a relevant site, those are people that arrived intentionally. Arriving from an email from a respected individual in the niche market. So like maybe you had somebody that promoted your product and they got an email on it and it was a targeted email to people interested in that subject matter. So here are some free traffic methods to keep in mind. You want to create high quality content that is engaging and informative. We've talked about this before, and this is all about being consistent with your content creation. Free traffic simply boils down to having quality content. And you can actually repurpose that content in many different ways. You could actually make a video and turn that video into an audio or a podcast that then gets distributed. And then you could actually have that audio transcribed into an article and turn that into multiple articles if it's long enough. Make a short report out of it that you can then give away and distribute through PDF sharing websites. And you could actually have it blasted out that way. You could also make it into blog post and then also converted some of that content into an infographic. So one video could be turned into 5 or 6 different forms of material that can be distributed online for your business. And so that's something really important to keep in mind is really look into repurposing your content. It's really good quality content, but you can repurpose it. With video marketing, you're making simple videos. It could be PowerPoint videos like this one here, where you use a tool like Camtasia or Screencast-O-Matic and a USB headset, as we've talked about before in this course. And that could be as simple as that. Could be as simple as that. Podcasting, that would be where you really get into some content related to that niche market. And so you create a podcast around there where you're actually talking about a subject matter important to it. What we're doing here could be actually made into a podcast as well. It's used as a video, but it could also be a podcast. Content marketing, that's like submitting your articles on eZine Articles, and those are unique articles that you wrote. That's how a site like eZine Articles works and other article directories. Squidoo.com, getting your content on Web 2.0 sites like Squidoo and Hub Pages. Tumblr is another popular website that you can create a presence on and put unique content. Guest blogging, that's where you're going out and finding websites in your niche market that are looking for content that you could guest blog. So you could do Google searches for your niche plus submit post, your niche plus submit article, your niche plus submit content, your niche plus guest post, and you could come across using all these different search parameters. And so if your niche is golf, obviously golf goes in there. If you're into dog grooming or dog training, it would be dogs. And if you're in the fitness weight loss niche, it'd be fitness or weight loss. Or if you're in the natural cures, it would be that. Holistic, if that's what it is, whatever your niche is, model trains, hobbies, those kind of things. Now, if you're in like model trains, you might need to be broader if you want to find potential guest posting opportunities. So you might say hobby, guest post, those kind of things, and you'll come across hobbyist type websites that are looking for guest post as well. Social media is a great way to get free traffic. You could do Facebook. With Facebook, you can do posts on your own profile. You could do a group. You could set up your own fan page. You could interact with other people within other groups and pages related to your niche market. Twitter is also phenomenal. You could follow people that are also following big players in your niche, and hopefully some of them will follow you back. And you can post your content every time you post an article or a new video and you repurpose it. You could get it out there on Twitter. Do Google Plus. That's where you could do, again, post, and you have groups and you have Google Plus pages. LinkedIn, Pinterest. Those are really big social media sites. And so every time you have an infographic or an image that you use within one of your blog posts, you could share it out there on Pinterest. Maybe you find a quality image related to your niche and you want to engage your audience. So you share that on your Pinterest account. Forum marketing is absolutely huge. It's a kind of an underused method, but it's still extremely powerful. And that's where you go out to forums where people in your niche are hanging out. Not only is it important to be on the forums in your niche market because you see the problems people have, you see the pains that they have, and you find out the solutions that they're actively looking for. But with a forum, you could actually have a signature in there. So you could put in a signature link. Now, not every forum has this. Before you go about this strategy, you don't want to get too involved in a forum that does not allow you to have a signature link. So you do want to check that out, read their terms and conditions, and see if people have a signature. But really, once you get active and become somebody that's providing help in there, if you have your link to your website in the signature link, pretty soon people are going to take notice to that. And if you are in there, maybe you do 5 posts a week or you do 10 posts a week, let's say, and by the end of a year, you have 500 posts out there. That's 500 different locations on this forum that a link to your website is found. You do that the next year, after 2 years of being on the forum, and this is just posting 10 times a week. That's 2 times a day, which is not that much, interacting on a forum. That is over 1,000 times that you're found within that forum, and your traffic can really gradually grow from there, and you can gain the respect of people inside the forum. Blogging is another avenue. We just touched on blogging as a strategy. Absolutely huge. Search engine optimization, that goes in with having a good blog. We talked about some of those methods. Within there, that's where you're optimizing your site for the keywords. You're building backlinks to your site by getting good content out there, and you're actively creating really good resources and content that people want to link to. PDF sharing sites like slideshare.net, that's where you could actually take Let's say you took a video that you recorded, made it into an audio, transcribed it into a short report, and then you went ahead and took that short report and put it up on slideshare.net. So you just basically got 3 times the exposure, and then you took some of the content, turned it into multiple articles that go out to Ezine articles, and then a couple different blog posts that it turns into on Tumblr. And next thing you know, you're found all over the place with one piece of content that you maybe spent an hour, 30 minutes to an hour creating. It became something that is shared across multiple platforms. Blog commenting is another great strategy. And to explain that, it's basically where you go out to websites in your niche market that have a blog. So you go type in the phrase blog, whatever your niche is, and you go out there and you find their most recent blog post, or you find a blog post that's getting a lot of active views on it and a lot of interaction, and you make a comment on there. You make a relevant comment. You could reply to what you thought about the article, how it made you feel, and be very specific here. You don't want to just say great article. Pat yourself on the back, you did a good job. That's way too generic. You want to give your specific opinion. It's even if your opinion differs, you want to give that opinion. And in exchange, it'll typically ask for your name, your email, and your website, and just casually drop in your website. That's not a spot where you jump in and anchor text. Anchor text are a thing of the past anyway, but that's where your name is not weight loss training or, dog grooming. Your name is whatever your name is, John Smith, goes in there, not, dog grooming, so you stuff in a keyword. That's going to look spammy. So with blog commenting, it works well because you're getting links from an active resource, an active website. But you could just throw in your website link because people might be curious and go, wow, this person has some good opinions on this blog comment. Let me go check out his website. And you really want to do this on the most active sites so you're getting the best use for your time invested here. It's not saying you want to go out there and be found on thousands of blogs. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is maybe go out to a couple main blogs in your niche a day of the big ones and leave a comment and actually provide value in there. Maybe help somebody that asked a question and reply to them. But always just use your website there because that's a great opportunity where it's going to get people in your niche that are reading through the comments because a lot of people like to read comments. They're curious about what people think and they may click on your image and go over to your website. Ask for links to your content. After you create content or you have a really good video, go out and ask people to link to it. People want to share resources with their audience as well. Find them on social media, on Twitter. That kind of material works really good for getting shared out there. Email marketing. If you have your email list, if you're building up your niche business the correct way, we talked about the importance of email marketing. Make sure you don't underestimate the power of sending out an email to your list to get free traffic because once it's on your list, it's basically free traffic, except for, paying to host that email list. But for all intents and purposes, it's free targeted traffic. Joint ventures. This is traffic from your affiliates. And the reason it's free, some people may argue that it's a paid method as well, because you're paying people that they get a commission after they send you a sale. But the reality is you don't pay for the traffic up front. They could send you 1,000 visits, and if they didn't send very good visitors, or let's say your offer didn't convert, which hopefully that's not the case, because otherwise they're not going to send you traffic again. But let's say, if they send you 1,000 visits, and let's say that 3% of them convert, which wouldn't be a bad conversion rate, that would be roughly 30 sales. So you have to pay them, 50% of that or whatever the case is, but you don't have to pay out any commission until a sale is made. So that means you've made 50% or you've made 25%, whatever your commission is set at, you've made money before they're even getting paid out. So that's why it's considered free traffic and it's targeted traffic because it's coming from affiliates that want to get targeted traffic there. And the beauty of it though is you're not out any money and for buying that traffic. You're not buying those 1,000 clicks. You are actually just getting those clicks. And if they turn into a sale, then you would end up paying the individual affiliate out. And you always want to pay your affiliates on time. But again, this is a great free traffic method because you're not paying up front for it. You only pay if the result happens. And if a result happens, you've made money. Next, we're going to talk about paid traffic methods and how you can use those with your niche marketing business. Paid traffic is the fastest way to get visitors to your website. It's the preferred method to generate leads or sales because it's traffic that you can get almost instantly. Free traffic methods work great, and you can get some traffic right away, especially if it's affiliate-driven traffic. But it is harder because it's something that is out of your control. You're depending on somebody else to send that traffic. You're depending on somebody else to share your content out there with free traffic. You're depending on the search engines to index your content. Whereas with paid traffic, you pay a fee to get your banner ad listed on a high authority website with traffic. You're paying for a click. You pay to get your advertisement up on Facebook or another source. And then it's automatically the traffic starts happening. So that's why it's the preferred method to generate leads or sales. And it's a great way to test your offers out to see how your offers are converting before you get affiliates on board, or it's just a way to kind of tweak your sales funnel and to always have ongoing traffic going to it. Some of the most popular niche products on sites like ClickBank and those types of offers do a lot of paid traffic to get their sales up and to keep their sales consistent. Targeting is very important with your paid traffic, though. It's just like we talked about where targeted and untargeted visitors, you want to have very targeted visitors, especially if you're paying for that traffic. You only want to target people that are interested in your offer. Place advertisements on only relevant websites. So that means you want to have advertisements on relevant sites. So if you again are into dog grooming, you would be listed onto, dog related, pet related websites. And if you're a local dog groomer, you're only going to be listed on people in your local area. So you might be on a local website. Let's say you're in Pasadena, California, then you're going to actually have an advertisement that shows up on dog related sites in the Pasadena area because you don't want to get traffic from all over. But if you're in like the fitness niche and you are promoting like an ebook or your blog or a post on your blog or just some way to get traffic, an advertorial maybe, so maybe it's a written up tutorial about how to do a certain method that in a way promotes a supplement or a product you have, then what you could do, place that advertisement on a targeted forum related to weight loss or dieting, or place it onto a popular blog or website. So place your advertisements on only relevant sites and get targeted visitors. That means if you are going after traffic from Google AdWords, then you're going to only bid on keywords that are going to get visitors to your site. So you aren't going to bid on the keyword phrase weight loss because that's too generic, but you're going to bid on certain keywords like weight loss, dieting, tips, or something longer tail because it kind of tells what people want. People wanting to lose weight, they may want a variety of different things. They may want an exercise routine or they may want a diet plan. So you don't know until you bid on the proper keyword because you know what your offer is. And so you're going to tailor that offer to what you have. Same thing with Facebook ads. You're going to want to target only visitors that have expressed an interest in the market that you have and that you're going after. You want to pay for email traffic, like through solo ads, where you pay somebody with an email list to send traffic. You want to only get it from targeted list. Get paid visitors for buyer keywords to opt in. And so buyer keywords are those longer tail keyword phrases. So Facebook ads are a great way to target people because you can target people that have liked certain pages, that have expressed an interest in certain groups, that are a part of certain groups. And so Facebook targeting is really good. You can target people based on gender as well because sometimes your ads are gender specific and your offers are as well. And so you only want to target people that is your target demographic. You know who your demographic is. If you have an offer that's targeted towards people that are 40 and above, you don't want to be selling advertisement on a site that's going to get a lot of 20-year-olds to click on it. Same thing with Facebook ads. You can target them by their age so that it's not showing to everybody on Facebook, but only showing to females in their 40s to 50s. And so that way it's very specific. So you need to know a little bit about your market. Even if you're not a full-on expert in your market, you need to know enough to understand where they hang out and who your target demographic is. Twitter, they offer a new service called Promoted Tweets where you can actually get engagement for your content. This works really well if you have a nice content piece and you want to get some traffic going to it, like a YouTube video or something. You could do that. Just go to ads.twitter.com. LinkedIn is another great place to post your ad. You can actually do advertisements on LinkedIn. They're a little bit different kind of ads, so it really depends on your niche. I wanted to mention that though because LinkedIn is valuable. Google AdWords, it's perfect for niche websites. If you're going into the topic of like internet marketing, stock trading, sometimes weight loss even, they're pretty sketchy on running ads with Google AdWords there. So you do want to be careful and make sure you're abiding by their terms and conditions. But most niches, like a lot of niches that do well are those common ailment type niches, they tend to perform well. Bing ads like Yahoo and Bing, other pay-per-click ads, sources, they do really well. Bing ads, just so you know, again, that would have your ad showing up on a search engine like Yahoo and Bing. Bing and Yahoo are now the same thing, basically. You could run a Google search for pay-per-click search engine, smaller search engines, and you can find them. And here's one that you could run an ad on. It's called 7Search, and then Look Smart is another popular one as well. PPV, which is known as pay per view, that means you pay per view. So a source like Lead Impact, they will actually sell a source where you are paying for every time somebody views your ad in like a pop under or views your website. ClickSoar is another site you can go to. You could just Google these. I believe it's leadimpact.com and clicksoar.com are those main ones. Contextual advertising, ClickSoar is another one there. Amobi.com, they actually offer a contextual advertising service. It used to be known as Contera. What contextual ads are is that if somebody's reading an article and the article is about weight loss, and sometimes you've seen this on especially a lot of the bigger websites as well, where they will actually have their advertisement show up in the form of hyperlinking a keyword phrase. So every time the keyword phrase weight loss shows up, it would actually be hyperlinked. And if people clicked on it, they would go over to your website. And so the person serving up that ad, they get paid, and then you're paying for that click. And it's a semi-targeted click because it's found on articles related to your niche and it's a topic that they're reading. And so Contera is what it used to be known as, and a site called Amobi.com ended up purchasing them, but they offer the same service. ClickSoar.com is another big one. Amobi offers all kinds of paid ads like email, mobile, display ads, videos, social, native advertising. So like those ads that you see on articles, those advertorials that we were talking about in some of the other methods, that's what you would find there. Media buying, this is where you locate targeted websites to advertise on. Those are those targeted forums, those targeted blogs, those popular websites. You could Google search your niche plus the phrase advertise with us in quotes. And the reason you want to put the phrase advertise with us in quotes is because that's going to only pull up websites in your niche market. So if it's golf, fitness, weight loss, let's say supplements, or let's say holistic. Let's say holistic niche is your big niche overall because you're doing natural cures. So holistic plus advertise with us. That's going to bring up holistic websites that offer advertising solutions, and you could find out how much it is to advertise with them. The niche plus the phrase advertise here. The niche plus your ad here. So these are three different search options that you can do. And what it'll do is pull up websites that you could then filter through, contact by email, look at their advertising prices and get an idea, and then look at serving ads up on these various websites. Mobile advertising, this is another big paid traffic method. And if your offer would be applicable to people on a mobile device, you could use a tool like millennialmedia.com and then admob.com. It's a Google property, but it will actually show your ad on many different like applications. Like a lot of times you've been playing a web app and you see an advertisement in the footer. That's what that is. Sites like AdMob and Millennial Media serve those kind of ads up. Next thing we're going to talk about is selling your niche businesses. So once you build up these niche sites, we're going to go over the process for actually selling these sites. So you could go into that as a separate income stream if you choose. Selling your niche business is a great strategy. It's a great way to have an exit strategy if you build up your niche to the point where you're ready to move on. It's a great way if you just have put in all your effort and you're ready to just give up and go on to something else. It's a great way for you to actually make a little extra income. Now, I do want to caution you before you go to the extent of selling your business, if you are ready to quit on the niche you chose, make sure that you have put in ample time and opportunity, because building up any kind of an online business does take time. It does take effort. And many people do forget this part of being able to sell it. And so that would be one good reason. Another thing is you could do this as an entire business model, is build up these niche businesses and then turn around and sell them. And a lot of people forget that they are building an asset. Your email list, your traffic, your website, that is an asset that could be sold. Even a quote failed website in your eyes is worth money to someone else. As they always say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And that is so true when it comes to selling your niche business. And again, be careful not to quit your niche site too soon. Pricing ideas for your website. For example, let's say for these examples, giving $1,500 a month profit and $100 a month profit examples. So let's say because of this, when you sell a website, it's more based on what the profit is. And also, if you do have a website with a good amount of traffic but very little profit, that's still okay, because there is still value in that traffic. It could just be that you haven't monetized the site appropriately. Now, if you followed along with how to monetize your niche already, you should have already have things in place that are so your site is monetized well. But if you're not, then this training will help you. So, for example, if we give you $1,500 a month profit on your site, and then we have another example of $100 a month profit, here's where we're at. A well-aged website with high traffic and no revenue, that is actually still very, very valuable. So keep that in mind. So let's look at another example, at other examples of sold sites that are out there. So let's go through here and say that some website businesses, so there are some website for sale marketplaces that say you could actually take a 3 months average net profit for your business. So you take the last 3 months, and let's say that averages out in this example to $1,500 a month. That would be kind of, a niche market that maybe you've been working on for a while. We're going to multiply that out times 20, and that would set a reserve price, meaning the minimum that you would want to sell your site or what your site is worth at $30,000. And the reason I'm giving you two examples is one, so you can see on a lower end if your site was generating 100 a month, and then the other example I'm giving is if it was 1,500 a month. And then obviously as it scales up, it could be 4,000 a month, 10,000 a month. By then you've got an asset that's worth quite a bit there. So if you do that, in theory, a website that's making $100 per month, if you the 3 month average, so the last 3 months that your site made a profit, the last 3 months that it made a profit, you would multiply that by 20, and that would give you a reserve price of $2,000. And again, the reserve is the minimum price you're willing to sell your site for. Another method that some people do is two and a half times the annual earnings. And so annual earnings, let's say that your site makes a profit of $1,500 a month on average for the whole year. So you multiply that by 12, and that comes out to an earnings of $18,000 for the year from your one website. So you would take that 18,000 and multiply it by 2.5 times. That gives you a reserve price of 45,000. Another example, let's say the $100 example. So that's 1,200 a year times 2.5. That gives you a reserve of 3,000. Now, the reason I'm kind of throwing these numbers out here is not to just confuse you, but to kind of demonstrate for you that there's so many different ways to evaluate a website price. And these are all different websites that I've actually seen and researched. In fact, the one above here, it's through a source called Empire Flippers. They kind of recommend you go this route. Then there's also like Flippa, which is one of the more popular ones. They usually do like either 12 times the monthly revenue or 2.5 times annual earnings. There's another source called Biz Buy Sell. I've personally been in the middle of a website deal that sold in the hundreds of thousands of dollars that was close to $1 million sale. And with that sale, it was actually a website that was earning only, earning 400,000. It was about 440,000 and ended up selling for about 795,000. And so it was almost very close to about maybe 1.5 times what their annual earnings were. And so every single business deal is different. And it really boils down to what is your market willing to pay and how desperate are you to actually sell that website asset? Are you ready to move on that much? And, the reserve price is more just an idea for you, so you aren't actually underpricing your site. Now, one thing to keep in mind though is if you are in the business of building up these niche sites and trying to sell them, and part of your revenue it really is dependent on if you sell these sites, you may have to actually go low on some of these estimates. You may only do 12 times the monthly revenue, or 12 times or 2.5 times the annual earnings, or you may want to only do like 1.5 times the annual earnings. And that way you're kind of, doing a lower price point. It's all about what people are willing to pay. In that same website deal that I've been a middleman on, I've been part of multiple deals. And it's funny to me that you find people that they're not willing to spend $20,000 on a business that somebody else will come around and spend $795,000 on. And it's quite interesting. And it really just proves a point that it just depends on who's buying the website. And I'm going to share with you what places to list your site on. But again, when it comes to pricing your website, it really is going to vary. I'm using this as an idea. You could pick one of these methods and do 3 months, your average net profit. So your last 3 months of net profit, and your net profit, I'll explain that on the next slide here. But if you go through these steps, like the 12 times monthly revenue, so that would say whatever your site generated, not a profit, meaning if you were paying for advertising to get that revenue generated, then the advertising expense would come off the actual revenue and you would be left with whatever your profit is. So we're going to say you spent $500 a month in advertisement and so your net profit was 1500 again. And you do that method, you are down, 2000 monthly revenue, your reserve price is 24,000. And if you do the same thing that we did again, and we kind of base it on, kind of a percentage based, but let's say you're spending 150 a month on ads, and right there your reserve would be 3,000. So it just kind of, it really does vary like what method you're going to go with. And for example, you can see especially on the $1,500 level, we had three totally different reserve prices. Some theories are saying, hey, you should sell that website for $30,000 and not any less. Another one is telling you 45,000 and no less. Another one is telling you 24,000 and no less. If you want a quick sale, I would maybe price that asset at $20,000 or $15,000 to $20,000 in that range if you want a super quick sale. This also gives you a good range though. You could actually use all three of these methods and then add them up and then just divide them by three to see what the average is for those. So you could take 30, that'd be 75,000, and then 99,000, divide that by three. That actually gives you $33,000 could be your reserve price. So you just go with a flat 33,000 based on that. And it might sound like crazy talk to you, but it really is when it comes down to website evaluations. And this is just honest off the cuff training. You could talk to 10 different people that evaluate websites and you're going to probably end up getting 10 different answers from those people as to what a business is worth. And really at the end of the day, it just simply boils down to what are people willing to pay for it? What are they willing to pay for that asset? And it's not like, especially with the buying and selling a website businesses, where they're, it's like real estate where it has to have a minimum price point or else a bank's just not going to finance it and it's not going to make sense. But when it comes to these kind of assets, it's very, there's really no cut and dry answer. There's no set answer on what you should list your business as. I wanted to share these different methods with you though, because these are three of the more popular ways that people list their website when they are trying to come up with a selling price. Here's, some other things defining the important selling points. So when you are selling your website, you do need to know some basic business phrases, and you probably already know these, but I just want to point them out to you. Your net profit, that's what you get to keep after all your bills are paid with your website. So that would include, like if you have an e-commerce website, that would include your cost for inventory or your cost for purchasing products that are then drop shipped out to your customers. That would involve your advertising costs, your outsourcing costs, like what'd you pay for content creation or articles, blogs, infographics, maybe customer support, hosting cost, your autoresponder fees. So that's what your net profit is after all these expenses have been paid. That is your net profit. That is what you're left with. Your revenue is the gross sales, like everything that site makes. Everything that came in, every dollar that came in, that would be the revenue. And so you take the revenue and you subtract the actual expenses from the revenue, and that becomes your net profit. Annual earnings would include the net profit for a 12-month period. So that's the net profit over a 12-month period. And then unique visitors, when you're describing unique visitors, that includes individuals that have seen your site. That is, visitors and unique visitors are totally different things, because oftentimes if you have repeat web visitors, which hopefully you do, because that means your content is good. And if you have repeat web visitors, what that basically would indicate is that it's only going to count one time as a unique visitor. So unique visits is really the most important stat people are looking at when they're buying a website business. Impressions are how many times your site's pages were opened. That is what an impression is. So how many times different pages on your site were opened up or that your site was shown. That was what impressions are. They're also known as page views as well. You want to give as many details as possible when you list your site. You want to let people know how it makes money, what your expenses are, what your net profit is at the end of the day. How much money did you get to take home from your business after running it for 12 months? What was your profit? People really do want to know these things. What are your unique visitors? What is their average time on site? And that's where if you're using tracking tools like Google Analytics, it works really well because you can integrate that when you're selling your business. Just be very specific. Building sites and selling them can actually be an entire business for yourself. And that's called website flipping, which some of you may have heard about. So I'm going to go in through the process of actually listing a website. First, I want to explain some of the websites to you. So the most popular one out here is Flippa. That's flippa.com. It's a very large website for sale marketplace. You can use it for niche research and you can also use it for selling your website as well. EmpireFlippers.com, I mentioned them on the previous slide when I was talking about the valuation. They tend to go off that valuation where you do the last 3 months of the net profit and multiply that out by 20. That tends to be what they do when they sell their site, and they're very successful at what they do. So, who am I to argue with exactly what they're saying? Everybody's got a different formula, though. That's the fascinating thing when it comes to selling a business online. EmpireFlippers.com, that is their website here. Websitebroker.com. This is another site that you could sell your website on. BizBuySell.com. BizBuySell.com. Believe it or not, this is a marketplace where you can actually buy like convenience stores and real estate businesses and entire businesses that come with physical property, but you can actually find and buy website businesses. And you'll notice people have businesses that are listed for businesses that could be run from home. And a lot of those are website businesses. And so BizBuySell is a great place to list a website asset. And it's kind of neat because there's not a lot of competition for other websites for sale. Like on Flippa, it's just websites. Empire Flippa, or Empire Flippers, it's just websites. Website Broker, obviously, it's just websites. And so BizBuySell.com, you could actually list your website business with very little competition and get a very unique quality kind of person, because people browsing BizBuySell tend to have a little more money up front. They tend to be a little more, comfortable with spending money online. And that's one thing to keep in mind, though, is that if you're going to go through like BizBuySell, you want to make sure that your site's making in that range of $1,500 a month in profit, for example, or $1,000 a month in profit before you really pursue this one. You could also try listing here because it does cost you, it's about $100 to list here. But if maybe you're earning $500 a month profit and you're trying to get $6,000 to $10,000 for your website, this might be a good option for you. So if your website's worth between $5,000 or more, you may want to consider listing it on BizBuySell. If it's only worth $2,000 to $3,000, I would stick with Flippa or try Empire Flippers or one of those other sites. Quiet Light Brokerage is another popular site that people wanting to sell their business through, they go here. Now, this site, these guys are actual website brokers, so they're website for sale, experts. And they're probably going to use their own unique proprietary formulas, they'll probably call it. But what you can do is you could actually get in touch with them if you have a business that's doing, I would say about 1,000 or more a month in profit. These guys may be able to help you sell it. If anything less than that, or if you have a site that maybe it's not making a lot of money, but it has a large amount of visitors and it's been around for quite a while, that may be something that they would want to consider brokering. But when you do a broker deal, you're paying them 10 to 20, sometimes 30% of whatever the selling price is. Most of the time, it's probably 10%. It just depends on the different website broker, but they're actually out there kind of like a real estate broker, but they're selling your website. And this is more for if you have a website that's been around a while. Maybe you have an e-commerce site that is making $100,000 a year in revenue, and it's, after the profit, it's maybe worth 50 to 75,000. And you are looking for a little higher quality visitor that may not be hanging out on Flippa. So you could go to these guys and set up an arrangement and give them 30 to 45 days to sell it. So this is more of a strategy if you have a larger website, kind of like listing on BizBuySell as well. So I'm going to go through the process now that I introduced you to these other websites. Flippa.com is the easiest one to do it, by yourself. You're not having to deal with third parties like you are with the other sources. Empire Flippers is a pretty good one, but there is some, they do review your site and they may or may not accept it. Whereas with Flippa, they're going to accept most websites that you list on here. And so this is a good one, especially for those starting out with website flipping. So if you go here to Flippa.com, and what we're going to see here is just kind of an image of different websites that have sold, so you can kind of see how the Flippa system works. So one of the first things you want to do here is go over here at the top right hand corner where it says sell, and you want to click on that sell button. And I'm just put up an example niche website that I have. Then I just kind of threw together some numbers and I went ahead and put it in here. So I just went in and typed in my domain. It asked me what the domain name is of the site I want to sell. So I put in csshowto.com. What kind of website is it? This is where you would mark, is it a blog? Is it a review site? Is it a content site, a directory, a forum, e-commerce? Do you sell services? Is it a web application? Is it a other? So that's where you could put in, whatever your website is. And in this case, we'll just call it a blog here, and then we'll click on next. Next, you're taken over to this page where it's going to ask you to verify your traffic with Google Analytics. I recommend you use Google Analytics not only to see what your traffic is doing. It's great to know how much traffic you actually have. It's a reliable tracking tool. It tells you, if you have problems with people bouncing off your website quickly and leaving your site, it tells you what pages people are visiting the most. Google Analytics gives you extremely valuable information. So what you want to do is verify your traffic with Google Analytics, and you could also enter your traffic manually, but if you verify your traffic with Google Analytics, it's going to increase your chances of selling on Flippa tremendously because people really like and trust the Google Analytics system. So it's very, very, important that you maybe consider listing with Google Analytics, because if you verify your traffic, you're going to have a verified badge which will really inspire confidence in your buyers. And so when you are doing the traffic, consider doing Google Analytics right there. As far as revenue goes, you could mark, does the site generate revenue, yes or no. If you select yes, you could choose what monetization methods are used. You could say AdSense or Amazon. So you have affiliate links. Are you drop shipping items? Is it ClickBank? Do you have a physical product or a information product that you're selling through ClickBank? Is it an e-commerce web store with drop shipping, a subscription service like a membership site? So point out what your revenue is. The pitch, this is a great part. They kind of actually fill it in for you. So this website I was selling, it happens to be a PageRank 2 website with 3,000 unique visitors a month. So that headline there is actually pretty good because people like to have websites with a page rank and like to have websites with unique visitors already going to it. So you could stick with that, or you could call it something else. One thing I like to do is go through some of the previous sold listings, and you can do a search in the advanced search feature to look at past websites that have sold on Flippa and look at what their subject line is, especially the ones that are getting a lot of bids and a lot of attention. So what you could do here is put in a summary, kind of a short paragraph as to what this website is. A sentence or two would be plenty there. And then in the description, be very descriptive as far as how your website makes money, a brief history, and they actually tell you things to include, like what technology is used, things that are included like domains and email lists, social media accounts, your plan for the transaction, the reason that you're selling. That's an important one. A lot of times people want to know a reason, and they get very skeptical if you don't have a good reason. And a good enough reason could be that you're just ready to move on. You're moving on to another niche market and ready to give this website, a chance for somebody else to succeed at it. Or you could say, I'm in the business of building websites and turning around and selling them. Whatever your reason is, be very honest about it because it's going to actually instill confidence in your buyers for you. Next thing you want to do, you'll be taken after the pitch, which is where you put in your description and your tagline or your title. The tagline becomes the title for the listing, and then your summary. You're going to go ahead and put in the sale. So this is where your auction is going to run for, let's say, 14 days. That's a good baseline. It's a good time to run it. And then you set your reserve price. Is it, $300? Or if you're using the method that I used previously, you set your reserve price. Maybe your site is making $100 a month. So you could use that formula, and let's say you want to list it for $3,000 reserve or $2,000 reserve. And that would be a good starting point. Look at the payment methods you'll accept. So for sales under 5,000, you could accept escrow.com and PayPal. You could just select one of those or both of them. People like to work with escrow.com. It's very popular and it's a very seamless transaction. So after they purchase the website from you, they are taken to escrow.com, where they would actually send the money to escrow.com. Escrow sends you a notification saying, hey, the money is in escrow, transfer the files. You transfer the files. They confirm that they were transferred and the money is released right back into your possession and your account, and you no longer have the website. It's a very seamless process, protects both the buyer and seller. So I would recommend accepting escrow, and for the lower end websites under 5,000, I would take PayPal as well if you have a PayPal account. That way you're giving your potential buyers multiple ways to pay you. So next thing you want to do is going to offer to promote if you want to promote this package further. So it'll say promote your listing to reach more buyers. Obviously, the first one there is probably the highest value solution. They call it Ultra Premium. and they say you can get up to 40 times the view on your listing and 5 times the bids. And so what they'll do is they'll actually email it to all their subscribers. It's going to be on top of the normal listings, dedicated premium support, and then it's going to be tweeted out there, a screenshot, highlighted listings. And so this is probably the best value package that they say, because if you were to purchase all these things separately, it would cost a certain amount of money. And you can scroll on down on the promote page to find different offers to go with. Most of the time, these are more the basic add-ons you could do. So you could do a homepage feature listing. You could do a tweet one. You could bold your title, which really does make it stand out. Do a spotlight listing and those types of things. But the most important thing you can do is, just to list the site, just the general listing fee is $19 with Flippa. So you're going to have to go ahead and pay Flippa. You could pay with credit card or you could pay with PayPal, and then you're able to take care of that. Once you pay for your listing goes live and it's ready to be sold. So in the next video, we're going to kind of wrap up this niche marketing process so you understand your next steps so you can get out there and start making money with your own niche business. Start taking action on this training because it's laid out for you in step-by-step fashion so that you can start duplicating it and making money. The key thing is that you want to choose a direction and a niche and pursue that. Don't spend too much time trying to find the perfect niche because remember, it does not exist. And then choose how you're going to monetize that niche from the start. Is it going to be from starting out with a blog and then from there you're going to go with an info product, or are you going to start with the information product and building that email list up? At the end of the day, you can actually do multiple income streams within that niche market. You could do the blogging route. You can do the podcasting route to really get exposure. Do the email list route. So you're really building up that email list and being able to promote as an affiliate. Having your own information product, selling products related to your market through e-commerce sales. There are so many different ways to go about it. Making affiliate revenue. You can actually do all of those things. In fact, I encourage you to have multiple income streams within just the one niche market. And again, don't get stuck looking for that perfect niche market. Also, look into multiple niche income streams. For whatever niche you go after, look at the many different ways that you can make money with it. Also, consider the possibility of once you get your niche going and making money, of potentially going out there and actually going into another niche market and just rinsing and repeating. Make a profit in one niche and go into another one while expanding the profitable one. And that way you're expanding on the one that's profitable and you're investing some resources into another niche so you can duplicate that success. Think of new ways to grow your email list and sales. As you grow your email list, your sales are also going to increase tremendously. And be consistent with your marketing efforts. That's going to be key to your overall success. Do not give up too quickly on your niche site or product. That's probably the most important point we can make, is that so many people, they get going and then they give up too quick right before the money was just about to start coming in. Don't underestimate the power of creating your own product as well. If you do this niche marketing right, you should create your own information product so you can have your own info product empire out there as well to go with your niche market. And then you can become a niche marketing success story if you apply this training. You can become that niche marketing success story, especially if you focus on things like building a list within that niche market. And that comes with having your own product. That comes with having a successful blog and doing all the things we talked about. We would like to hear that you have become a niche marketing success story after applying this training.